It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with Not today. Helwani's ditched town. Now the inmates are running the asylum. The creatures of the control room are front and center this time around. It's the Rick and GC show. Or is it the GC and Rick show? Either way, here are your hosts, Ariel Jackman and Conner Burks.
Welcome to another GC and Rick edition of the MMA Hour. I'm Ariel Jackman, aka NYric. That is Conner Burks, aka GC. And yeah, we're in the hosting chair, or at least I am for now. Conner Burks
you look
on
good,
Zoom.
man.
Oh, thank you. I feel good. I've done this before. I feel like you've done this before. So we've all gotten our crack at sitting here.
Who, me?
It's not where I'm most comfortable, but I'm here, and we're going to present a great show for you guys today. So keep hanging with us. We're going to have some fun. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to preview UFC 304 happening Saturday in Manchester, one of the biggest cards of the year. And yeah, we'll have some fun like we normally do. GC, how are you? What's going on?
I'm great, man. I've actually never been better. I mean, UFC 304 week. I'm hyped. Our guys on the card. We got Aspinall going. We got Oban Elliott going. We got Leon Edwards going. Arnold Allen. You got King Green versus Paddy Pimblett. It's always exciting when it's a pay-per-view week, and this one I am especially excited for.
Yeah, I see you've done some redecorating in the casa.
Oh, this. Yeah, man. We've done, now that we've had so many English shows or pay-per-views under our belt, I just kind of have all this. I mean, everyone knows I took the trip over to Manchester last year. So, I mean, this is just sort of how I do it. The Yorkshire Gold. I mean, I wake up with this every morning. Absolutely beautiful brew right here. So, yeah, I mean, this is just stuff taken from my house. I didn't even have to buy anything.
Does anybody ever come across your secret stash of British UK paraphernalia and wonder what's happening here?
So you say British and English like paraphernalia. It's actually, I have a lot of Brazilian stuff because of that. There's so many random collections of things from different countries that I own that I have in a closet. Really, the only ones I've ever seen it is my roommate and my girlfriend. So they understand. But yeah, I don't know if I ever did a sale of a storage unit, or if I passed away or something like that, and they were searching through my stuff, they would be like, "What is going on with this dude? This is a lot of random shit here."
They might think spy, maybe. You've got so much national memorabilia for so many different countries.
Yeah, just a big fair weather fan for national sporting events, soccer, Olympics, stuff like that. I can always be cheering for someone.
I'm uncomfortable right now, I have to admit.
Wait, what? I thought you just told me how much you liked.
Yeah, I lied.
You liked sitting there.
What the fuck is that?
I lied to you. I lied to everybody.
Wow.
This doesn't feel natural. And
now that you mention it, you look a little uncomfortable.
Well,
I have to disagree, Frank. You look a little uncomfortable now that you mention it.
Yeah, I am uncomfortable. And so I'm going to leave this spot, and I'm going to go back to my spot.
You're going back into the control room.
What the hell? What is this, amateur hour?
Frank, you can't hear me now, huh? No cancer.
No.
If you sit back
I'm
here,
not
then you
gonna
can't
lie,
talk.
dude.
What is he
It's
saying?
gonna be chatter.
I cannot believe Frank
he
thought
looked
this was gonna be
terrible
a
in
good
there.
idea.
So
Look at these
Is he coming in the
camera angles.
booth?
This is incredible.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, he looked like shit in there. I can't lie. I'm glad that
now
he's doing this.
now the truth comes out.
Wow, here we go. We're back, just
I'm
like
back.
that. Look at this.
That
Look at this. It looks
that
good.
feels so good.
I can't lie. The trinkets, everything like that, it didn't fit. We needed this gray, drab background to go with the black shirt. Now everything feels in sync.
It's not me. And yeah, that's for Helwani. This is for me. And this is where I feel comfortable. It's like
as is tradition. My background's still sneaking into yours. Which is just great. I mean, the juxtaposition here of just the dark control room and this beautiful array of homage to the United Kingdom behind me is great.
I think we're finally ready to kick off the show. That was like the pre-show. Frank had convinced me that was a good idea, and obviously it was not.
I can't believe you just did this.
And now
Frank had a
we're
bad
here.
idea. I'm floored. I had
Wait
to
till
pick my
Helwani
jaw
hears
up off
about
the ground
this.
that Frank had a bad. Oh wait, you're gonna go tell
Yeah.
tell on us, Frank?
I mean, come on, you guys. You can't act like this just because he's away.
You know what's funny? You say that. We actually have Helwani.
Wait, what?
Why don't you just tell him right now? We
This is
have
breaking
Helwani
news
here.
to me.
There's so much good acting happening
my
on the
God.
show right now. Frank's, wait, what?
Wait, what?
I mean,
The
I've been
wait
sitting
what
here for
from Frank
45
was.
fucking minutes waiting for this show to start.
Look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. He's living out his dreams in Paris, and all he wants to do is come on here and berate us. This is incredible.
Yeah, that's right. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do is to be next to you guys. That was great. Finally, people get to see behind the scenes, Rick. You finally
Can we talk
broke
about the
fourth
camera
wall.
angles?
Yeah.
It was
shout
actually
out to
Camera
great.
angles. That's Emmy nominated stuff right there.
Was that a pre-tape or was that live?
No, we did it live, baby.
Who the fuck is we?
Yo. Yeah, there it is.
Helwani,
There it is.
set the scene. Set the scene for us. You're in Paris.
Okay, well,
for
first
the
of all, you guys are
Olympics.
doing great. I liked you in the chair. OGs will remember when you sat in the chair after Claire was born, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time you sat in the chair, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is.
When you wore the Helwani outfit.
I wore the Helwani outfit. It was Halloween. It was Halloween day, I believe.
That's right. That's right.
And it was wonderful. But this is where this feels right. This feels like the right spot.
No, this is great.
So
it's great to be here. I'm a little bit tired now. I left New York yesterday at 6:30 p.m. and actually, I have to say, if you guys don't mind a small little plug, my good friends at NeuroGum have this like melatonin mint. It's called like sleep and recharge. I've always been afraid to take it, but it was 6:30 and I'm like, if I go to bed at 10 and this thing is going to land at 1:30, 7:30 local time, I'm kind of screwed here. So I took it right before we took off. And I have to say, I went to bed right away. I was sleeping right away. It was,
How did you sleep?
It was pretty,
It was quality sleep.
like, you never sleep great on a plane.
I do.
But all things considered, not bad. They woke me up to eat. I think I felt like drugged when I was eating. I was definitely feeling it. And I felt it like 5 minutes in. And all things considered, not bad because I knew I had to hit the ground running when we got here. So much to do. Golly. We're a stone. So every country, by the way, for those that don't know, I don't know if I mentioned this, I'm in Paris right now for the Olympics, covering it for CBC, yada, yada. Every country has its own house. And so we're conveniently right next to Canada House. And that's where all the Canadian broadcasting is going on. So you walk in there and it's all like Canadian TV everywhere. It's actually in the Science Center, which they've rebranded for the Olympics, but it feels like you're in Toronto or Montreal. It's wild, and everyone's speaking English or French, but like Quebec French, not France French. And so we had to do some stuff there. And I got my Lululemon suitcase, which is gigantic, and so much clothes that I don't know what to do with because there's only one closet here and no drawers or a second closet. My room is just clothes at the moment. Not a bad problem to have, but it's a little overwhelming because I'm
Rocking
gonna be in this
the
room for
Lululemon right now, yeah.
Yeah, this is a little extra they gave me.
That's a great shirt. I saw you with the pants with the clean white shoes for once in your life. I mean, it looked great in the Paris pictures.
Yeah, they gave me 4 pairs of shoes like those. 4.
That's amazing.
What a tragedy.
If you don't use one, you can just
you have
pass
too
them
many
off
clothes.
to me. No worries.
Are you size 12?
Oh, I can fit a size 12.
Who, me? What are you?
11 and a half, 12 and a half. Depends on the shoe. Depends on the brand. How I'm feeling that day. Yeah.
Wait. Oh, okay.
So
yeah. Set the scene.
wait. So then we went on the metro and we went to the Eiffel Tower to shoot some stuff, and it's completely shut down. Locals cannot get anywhere near the Eiffel Tower because of all the security, because they're getting ready for the opening ceremony, singular, not plural, opening ceremony, and but we were able to because we have you have to have the special credential. And then we came back and did some stuff. And I'm trying to make it to 10 p.m. It's 7:09. I'm trying to make it to 10 p.m. so that I can hopefully get on track here. And I think I'll be good. I had a nice spicy tuna baguette for lunch. I had 2 awful coffees, like just absolutely awful. But the baguette was fantastic. I mean, just absolutely amazing. So far, all's well. My bags arrived. I'm good, just settling in. It's going to be my home for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, I feel like
It's
you
gonna be
got to
part of the
find
opening ceremony.
I feel like you got to find the go-to coffee place that you're going to go to every single day while you're there, because you don't want to risk it every morning and end up with a bad coffee in your hand.
No, so far I'm 0 for 2. And I know what you guys are about to ask me, so let's address the elephant in the room. I did not fly the drone. I had nothing to do with it. We're a very honorable country,
yes.
and we will not accept any blame.
Well, cheating. It is a cheating country, but yes.
It is kind of incredible that they got caught doing that, especially when you consider the fact that the team that they were supposedly or allegedly spying on is one of the worst teams. Like, why, if you're going to spy on someone, why would you spy on one of the worst teams, New Zealand? Very strange. For those that missed it, the Canadian women's soccer team has been accused of spying on the women's soccer team from New Zealand with a drone. They had a drone flying over the stadium. Now, there's some speculation that this was due to some sort of shoot that they were doing, and it just got kind of caught in the crossfire. But you can't do that. So the coach has decided to sit out tomorrow's opener. I think 2 staff members went home. I mean, controversy off the bat here, guys, in the City of Lights. So it's an incredible time.
Thank you for that denial and update.
I thought you were going to say thank you for that report.
No, you said.
But I mean, could you imagine getting all the way out there? Like you get to live out your Olympic dreams, and then you fly a drone, and you end up having to go home before the opening ceremony even happens.
Insane. A drone over the stadium. By the way, most security ever. Like, did you not think you would get caught flying a drone over a stadium?
Yeah. You mentioned you're doing stuff. You keep saying stuff. What is stuff? How are we enjoying the assignment? What's it been like so far? What are you expecting for the next few weeks?
I'm expecting a lot of work. I'm expecting our show to begin on Friday, our first show. So I'm hosting a show called Paris Tonight, which you can watch. It will be available on CBC Gem, which is the CBC streaming platform, but also on all of their YouTube, whatever, socials. It will air live at 11 p.m. Eastern. Well, live, because that's like 5 a.m. So we'll shoot most of it beforehand. Interviews. I have an interview. They're about to announce, if not already, who the flag bearers are going to be. I'm going to interview one of them. So all this exciting stuff. But in addition to that, I'm going to be on the telly as well. I'll be a part of the opening ceremony broadcast on actual CBC, the channel, which is an iconic network. For those that don't know, the CBC is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It's like our version of the BBC. It's the home of Hockey Night in Canada. It's been the home of the Olympics for as long as I've been alive. It's a really iconic public broadcaster. It's part of the fabric of Canada. And they have a sister station in French called Radio Canada, and I'll be doing some stuff for them. I've been practicing my French a little bit while I'm here. So everything's going to really start, I think, like in earnest on Friday, because that's technically day 1. Today is technically day -2. No, sorry. Today's -2, tomorrow's -1, and then Friday's day 0, and then it begins. Canada's first men's basketball game is on Saturday against Greece. TBD if I'll be there. I'll either be at 1 or 2, game 1 or 2. That Tuesday's game 2 against Australia. So I'm all into it. They came out, and something called Grace Note, which I guess predicts things, came out and said that they're predicting that Canada will get 21 medals, 7 gold, and then I guess you could figure out the rest. A silver in women's boxing, Tamara Tebow. So I'm all in, guys. I don't know if you know this, but they don't call me Olympic Ariel for nothing. Are there any big MMA shows coming up this weekend? Anything in the world of cage fighting, or is it pretty quiet?
No, it's low key. Nothing really happening. You picked a really good time to go away.
Yeah. Enjoy
no
the rowing,
problem,
enjoy
mate. Yeah,
break dancing. We'll give you any
breakdancing. Did you know, by the way, that breakdancing is actually debuting at these Olympic Games and then going away for the next ones in 2028 in Los Angeles. It's a one and done for them. Did you know that?
Wow. So
No,
whoever wins, whoever gets the gold, will be the gold medalist for breakdancing.
Well, they
Yes,
could bring
Los
it back,
Angeles
theoretically.
No. It's confirmed. Los Angeles decided to introduce flag football, baseball.
Sick. Yeah, I'm down for that. Oh, yes. These are so much better than breakdancing.
No, but I'm saying in future games, 12 years from now, they may say,
they could bring it back later, but for now
breakdancing's
it's going to be like in and out, sort of like ballroom dancing was. a couple of years ago. If you remember that ballroom dancing, like maybe
Yeah, I
4 or
was
8
locked
years
in on the
ago.
ballroom for sure.
I missed that.
Yeah, me
I missed
too.
that.
Me too.
Yeah, you mentioned the world of MMA. Do you want to talk about MMA? You got any thoughts for UFC 304? Any predictions? Anything that's burning that you have to get out?
Number one, I'll just say that I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to the Tom Aspinall fight.
What is your
in
before you go
particular.
on? What are your plans? How are you going to watch this? What is the setting going to be? What have you been?
You're going to be
figuring
suffering
out
like
here?
the British fans.
Yeah, I can't complain. They're going to be suffering more than me because they have to pay to suffer if they want to be there in person. I think the plan is to like wake up for the main card. I haven't quite wrapped my head around it yet, if I'm being honest. But I really do want to watch the main card because I think the main card is fantastic. The Aspinall fight, I'm very interested in. I'm interested to see how Paddy the Baddie looks. There's a lot of interesting storylines going into that one, considering the fact that he's on the final fight of his deal, unless he's signed something today. I saw a clip come out from an interview where he said that he wasn't in a great spot mentally. He appears to be in fantastic shape. Both him and Molly appear to be in incredible shape. Golly, like 8-packs, both of them. So I'm really curious to see how he does against King Green, how Molly does, and the main event. I mean, so I saw someone say this, and I wonder how you guys feel about it. The stuff coming out of Bilal Muhammad's mouth about A, Leon, and B, his spot in history if he wins this fight, like the line about how he would be number 2 behind GSP, like he has said some of the most outlandish and nonsensical things that we've seen leading up to a fight. Like there's often times where, you know, I want to just be like, what is this guy talking about? But I know it will turn into a whole like, you know, Middle East war if I do that. So I'm just staying away. Is there any turning back from this?
So
Is there any turn if he loses this fight, how do you turn back from this? If he wins, he sounds like a brilliant guy. Like we're comparing him to Canelo, the box.
He is getting one title shot. If he loses this fight, he will likely never get another title shot for the rest of his career, and that'll be it. And we just move on with our lives. And if he wins, he looks like a genius. I actually like the way that he's playing this because here we are talking about it. He could have just said platitudes and complimented Leon Edwards and everything like that. I think that he is aware of what he is saying is ridiculous, and he's essentially trolling.
Okay.
yeah,
So the Canelo stuff, he's just going like totally on that side just to get people to talk about him. All right, well,
we were going to get into this more later, but maybe we just get into it now. Like I think we think he's trolling, and successfully, because every time
I don't think so.
That's how good it is. That's why it's working, because everybody.
What if
believes
he's not
him.
trolling? You think
What's the
he's
difference?
trolling? What if he?
What's the difference? Does it
Oh, I
matter?
know there
What
is
is the
no difference. All my question isn't is he trolling or not. My question is, people lose in their first title fight and they work their way up. I don't know if there's any coming back from this.
Oh, this is the path to get back.
I feel like period he is not getting another title shot as it is.
Right.
Like he is on a 10-fight unbeaten streak. He's won 9 straight times. He has beaten the best of the best in this division, and it took this much just to get to the title shot. If he loses, I don't think he is going to be put back into this position.
This is going to help him get back to a title if he fails, because now he is saying this outlandish stuff, because people are hating on him, because people think that he's serious. I don't think he's serious, but even if he is, it's irrelevant. If he didn't say this and got beat by Leon, he just disappears. He just becomes another guy, as he was before.
Yes.
This is helping bring some additional attention and some real animosity. Like on the social accounts, when we post Bilal Muhammad content, it did not used to perform the way that it is performing now. People are not enjoying what he's saying, but people are reacting to what he's saying. And so I think this is a path that allows him to potentially get back into that conversation at some point. Do I think they'll be anxious to give it to him if he loses? No. But do I think that he is making himself more relevant and drawing attention to himself? I mean, not dissimilar to like a Colby Covington and others who have tried this. What do you mean? How's it different?
If Leon smokes him 5-0, what's the path back?
It may not.
I don't think there
By the way,
is
they didn't want
one.
to give him a title shot when he had won 9 in a row.
If Leon smokes him, if Leon smokes him and he doesn't talk, what's the path back? Does it materially hurt him? No.
No, listen. The way I would have sold this fight is I was going to beat you. You poked me in the eye. You look for a way out. They've tried to do everything in their power to stop me from getting this shot. They offered 3 other people title shots instead of me just a few months ago at UFC 300. None of them deserved a welterweight title fight, let's be honest, in the welterweight division, right? Like, okay, maybe Shavkat, but that was a quick one. Khamzat not fighting at 170, Islam 55 champ, fine. And yet here I am, and I'm going to prove that you're, a never was, overhyped, got lucky shot, headshot, bang, whatever. This other stuff is...
That's so
what?
boring. That's so boring.
Yeah.
It's boring.
If I beat
he's
him,
getting us.
he
He's
beat
getting us
Kamaru twice, and
Yeah, can
so
we show the-
Kamaru
can
was
we
number
have
2.
the clips.
We have the quote. Can we show the
What?
quote here?
We
Please.
actually have the whole clip
okay,
from
we
an
have the
interview with
video.
Damon Martin. We can play the whole clip real quick.
Okay, this is from an interview with Damon Martin on our side on MMA Fighting.
Okay.
He just looks like he doesn't belong here. The belt doesn't belong on his shoulder; it belongs on my shoulder. And yeah, once I get the belt, I'm gonna show the division. And my goal isn't just to be the champion. My goal is to be the best welterweight to ever do it. So for me to go out there and beat Leon, who beat Usman twice, who everybody thought was the best welterweight to do it, right? Then I'm up there and I'm ahead of him, and I'm right underneath GSP. Then when you're looking at both of our lineups, it's like, well, I beat Wonderboy, I beat this guy, I beat that guy. Then I get these next young killers who people are still going to say are going to beat me, right? You give me the Shavkats, you give me the JDMs, the Ian Garys, and then I walk through all of them. There's nothing else, right? I'm just going to be cemented as the best to ever do it.
I love
yeah.
it.
No.
love
So
it.
he's actually cleaned out the division already. Now that you actually break it down that way, I feel like this is him lapping the division.
But
I
see,
get
this
it, I
is
get
the
it, I get
reaction
it.
that it gets. This
No, I get it.
have you ever
Listen,
thought
I can't
or
wait
talked,
for it.
Have you ever
By the
thought
way,
or talked about Bilal
guaranteed you-
Muhammad more ever?
To a degree.
No.
I guarantee you someone's going to clip this off and say that I'm hating and forget the fact that for the past year I've been saying he deserves to be fighting for the belt, that he's getting screwed, that he should have fought for the belt a year ago, that he should have fought for the belt before Colby. Like, I don't need all of this. I don't need all of this because this sounds delusional and nonsensical. But I get it. To me,
I don't think
that
you-
was a
I
good
don't think
fight.
you're hating. I think you're acknowledging that the things that he's saying are outlandish, which
Well, you know how
He's
it
tr-
is. If you say anything critical, I mean, just ask Uriah Hall. I mentioned his shorts, and all of a sudden, Uriah
Who,
Hall
me?
has sent messages to every single person on the broadcast team, threatening them, saying that, like, if I
Jesus.
see you, I'm going to beat you up. I know I just went on a tangent here, but, like, I actually thought I was pretty fair to Uriah Hall. I thought he was very close to winning that fight. He just was wearing the wrong shorts and wasn't wearing a traditional boxing cup. I mean, like, do you want us to ignore that? I don't know why he's getting so bent out of shape over it. But anyway, people are just, extremely sensitive when it comes to any sort of criticism whatsoever. I'm still trying to decipher if Nate was talking about me or not. I think we determined it's either Amber Heard or Adolf Hitler, but we haven't quite whittled it down. I don't know. This is me. This is jet lag Dario
Yeah,
talking right now, so I might get myself in.
No, you're still on the right side of the fence.
Okay, perfect.
No, you're expressing a preference that you would prefer for him to take a more traditional approach, which is I just want revenge. I don't think it works. I just don't think people are interested in Bilal Muhammad's revenge. I don't think that connects with people. But I do think pretending that you are second behind GSP with a win makes people react, whether it's good or bad. This is tried and true in combat sports that you don't really need them to love you. You just need them to pay attention to you. And he is making that happen.
This also isn't the first thing that he's done in the lead up to this fight. If you guys wouldn't mind me just reading another quote from him when he was talking
Please.
to MMA Junkie last month. Now, just to preface this, 11 of his 14 UFC victories have come by way of decision, and in 25 professional fights, Leon Edwards has never been finished. This is what he told MMA Junkie. I'm going to rock him. I'm going to rock him early, and then I'm going to take him down, and I could finish him with a TKO, but I'm just going to let him get back up. I'm going to look at his coach. I'm going to tell him, yo, coach, give him some motivational words. Let him man up. Hurry up. And his coach is going to look at me, and he's going to say, I don't know what to tell him, man. And then I'm just going to hit him again. And I'm going to say something to him. And then I'm going to hit him again. Then I'm going to get him in a rear naked choke, probably in the first round. And then right before he's about to tap, right before he loses consciousness, I'm going to let him go. I'll let him breathe a little bit. I'll let him go to his corner. Hopefully his coach gives him some better advice. And then second round, I'm going to take him down again. I'm going to start dominating him, start hitting him, elbowing him. This time I'm going to look at his brother. Bro, you're not going to come in and jump in for your brother? You're not going to help your brother out? And he's going to look at me, He's going to curse at me. He's going to swear at me. And I'm just going to be smiling the whole time through it. And then I'm going to look at Leon and I'm going to say, all right, man, I'm done with you. And then I'm going to finish him in the second round. Call me Mystic Muhammad. Second round finish.
Oh, God. Wait, please tell me the music wasn't a mistake. That was planned? Who, me?
That was just Frankie with a nice touch there.
Wait, I just saw Eric's mouth moving, but I didn't hear what he said. Is this mic working?
Oh, no, my mic wasn't on. I said, what a reading by Conner Burks, dramatic reading.
That was great.
Well
no,
done.
the music was fantastic. I couldn't tell if it was like, I was searching like, do I have a YouTube video on or something? What's going on? Because this is timing out perfectly.
That was
great. Well done. Well done.
Who,
me?
Yeah,
So second round finish, incoming for Bilal Muhammad. I think he's doing all of this on purpose, and it's getting people to talk about him.
6 different conversations with different people while the fight's happening.
Listen, if he pulls it off, God bless. It's an incredible win, and he called
He looks like a genius. He looks like a genius.
My only point is, if he doesn't, I don't see him getting back here. A, he's not a fan
But what
favorite.
does it hurt him?
B,
That's
he
what
doesn't have a...
I agree with you that I don't see him getting back here, but like, does it hurt? It doesn't hurt. He's taking a calculated risk, which is if it does work, if it does pay off, now he's planted the seeds for all this nonsense that he can keep talking, and it just continues from there.
And if it doesn't work out, he gets a bunch of shit online as it is anyway. It'll just be a bunch of the same. If he's accepted that doesn't affect him, then he's either going to look like a genius or it just didn't work out and he moves on with his life. Because I just don't see him getting another title shot as it is.
This is like when Sean Strickland says every time that he's going to battle to the death and go to war, and everybody's like, yeah, like it's never real. It's not real. It's never happening. He's going to jab somebody for 5 rounds. This is the same thing. He's just talking. He's just making noise that's going to get him attention, and it's working.
All right.
Look, if it's genuine and we're all analyzing this like it's a calculated move and he just really believes this, it's no different to me, but that is a little bit concerning, like to think that you're in that category at this point. But yeah.
I'm happy that we get
I'm
to
more
just
excited.
Resolve this. I'm happy we get to resolve this because they fought several years ago. I thought Leon was en route to a win. I thought he looked great in the first round. And unfortunately, it ended in an eye poke, and it should have ended. And since then, he's been able to hang his hat on, I was going to beat him, and he looked for a way out. So hopefully it's a clean finish, one way or the other. We could resolve this, and then we can move on. And you know, I think that, you know, there's a lot of pressure on Bilal because he has said a lot leading up to this fight. But to your point, better than the alternative of saying nothing and no one truly cares. So maybe there's a method to the madness.
I think it helps Leon too. It makes this fight a little more elevated, and he's already looking past him and feeling like he's on his way to, you know, greatness. To
was that clip real?
GSP.
Was that basketball thing real? The kick?
Oh man, that's we have
so.
that.
It looked
as
like
well.
I looked for an edit. There's no edit.
Can we
how
show
did they
it?
do it?
We have the clip.
Yeah,
here.
two angles.
Morning, run.
Yeah, there he is.
Wearing an RDX sports hoodie, and then they tweeted
Nice
it out.
hoodie. Can I tell you what's the most
They happen
suspect
to
part?
recognize him.
Yeah, now yourself, Leon, with the left foot.
What, that they immediately recognized him, even though he was jogging through a park wearing a
No,
hoodie?
can I tell you the most suspect part about it? Who's playing basketball in Birmingham? No one's playing basketball. There's no basketball in that. That was the part that I was like, what is going on here?
The
How
most
does,
suspect.
how does the coach just happen to be filming as well?
That's the most
Oh,
suspect
they were
part
doing
for me.
road work.
No, Leon
They were
Edwards.
doing
You
road
think
work.
he asked his coach to
Let's show
record his road work?
angle number 2 as well. Here's from the other angle. They're ready. They're
Wow,
ready
they have the
filming
camera ready.
with Leon going. Nice toss. Boots it. It might be right there. It might be in the turn.
Everybody just happened to be in position. I'm going to like Snopes. I'm calling false here.
I'm a
This
believer.
is not real.
If it is real, it is the coolest thing I have ever seen anyone done. Is the most
Nah, it's
effortlessly
not
sick
real.
thing.
It's
we
great.
talk about
It's
plus
great.
10,000 aura. That's plus 1 million aura. That would be the coolest thing ever accomplished by anyone.
The
It's-
only person who
it's just
could do
fun.
that is
it's actually
Alex
fun
Pereira.
that they did that. By the way, we don't see this often. We've seen LeBron do it. We saw there was a Ronaldinho one.
Yeah.
There was another one where the guy
Kobe.
went through the card. Yeah,
Kobe jumped over
Lawrence
the car.
Maroney.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like the fact that like this type of marketing has come to MMA. You don't
I
really
like it.
often see that.
It blew up. I think Happy Punch posted it and it got like 230,000 likes on it. Like a lot of people were seeing it.
Yeah, it was great. It was brilliant.
Yeah, so
I love that
Bilal's
stuff.
faking it, Leon's faking it. It's all good. We're all
Is
faking
Aspinall?
it.
By the way, every outlet
Aspinall's
has picked up the
faking it.
petrol hands thing, and people are still
It's real.
It's
real. He puts his
There's
hands
so
in
many
gasoline. Have some
questions.
faith,
Bilal
man.
faking
Come
it,
on.
Leon faking it, Aspinall faking it.
Everybody's faking it. I love it. Wait, Curtis.
Patty's in, Patty's out.
Curtis, I don't. You know what?
Mohammed Makayev's in, Mohammed Makayev's out.
They're faking the policeman on the cart.
Yes.
Curtis Blade's
I'm so
not
happy
faking
I'm
it.
covering a real sport.
You may have missed this one. Curtis,
What?
just at media day, asked about Alex Pereira coming up to heavyweight. Said bad idea before the question finished leaving the reporter's lips. Bad idea. And then he said, I would F up Alex Pereira. I would expect a knee. He's gonna shoot. I'm gonna shoot right away. He said, I'm expecting a knee. I'm gonna eat that knee and I'm gonna F him up. So I like Curtis getting feisty on Alex there. But yeah.
Anyone ask about Jake Paul, Alex Pereira?
Did they ask who? Curtis about it?
Yeah, I thought that's what he was going to weigh in on.
No. They were just asking about Alex going up to heavyweight.
I mean, honestly, dude, I guess if anyone
You
in the
okay?
heavyweight
Do you
division
need to sleep?
could wrestle.
No, I mean, that was the big talking, but we did a whole show about that on Monday.
I know.
Have you guys moved on?
Who the fuck is we?
Now we're talking UFC 304 and Curtis Blades at Media Day.
Yeah, come on, man.
What else?
Sorry,
what else
sorry.
you got for us, Helwani?
No, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to hijack the show, so you guys do your thing. I'll be watching, and we'll be back for the post show. You guys got the watch party. You're doing your thing over there. It's great to see. I could get used to this as a
breaking news,
as a weekly
Frank.
thing. What do we got?
Ariel, this is specific for you. One, Woj is reporting NYric Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau, 3-year
we signed.
contract extension through
Yeah.
2027, 2028.
Wow.
Keeping
It's
the band together
coming
for a
home.
bit.
It's
They've got everybody locked
coming
up
home.
now.
It's
Unbelievable.
coming. Basketball's coming home. It's
What a summer for the
coming home.
Knicks. What a summer.
I
Could
thought
the
you were
Knicks
saying
actually win a
McBride got traded.
championship?
Well,
I feel like there's just like a magic wall blocking.
I
them
was all
from-
in on the
from
Knicks,
winning
but the Sixers
Wow.
got a nice upgrade this year.
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Um,
Yeah, no, the vibes are high here in Paris. A lot of people coming up, a lot of people showing love. Getting to live out a dream. I mean, I think this is every sports broadcaster's dream to be a part of the Olympics. And so I'm sorry, everyone, that I'm not there, and I'm sorry that it's not the usual programming. But I like this. I think you guys are great. I'd like to see this as a weekly show, if I may throw that out there. And I hope everyone enjoys 304. I'll be enjoying it as well from my bed right over here, probably.
So that's the plan.
And,
the French
yeah.
broadcaster, is it Canal Plus? Is it? I don't know how. Who
It
who
might
is
be, but I don't know. Like, do they do it on pay-per-view here?
That's what I was wondering. Like how you're gonna actually get it in.
You know what I'll do? I'll probably call up BSD, Benoit Saint-Denis, Cédric Doumbé, Cyril Ganmano Fioro, Baki, all the boys here. Fernand
Do
Lopez.
a watch party?
Yeah, sure. They all hate each other, but yeah, maybe we'll do a
No
little...
problem, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a little watch party, huh?
I dig that. I dig
Yeah,
that.
see if MMA Factory, throw it on a projector and hit some bags while you
Everyone come by.
while you watch.
I
Yeah.
bet
Call
they
up
will have
Francis.
it.
Hey, Francis coming back in October, it seems. He told Rogan that. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, could be.
Well, I look
The-
forward to you guys answering all these questions on the nose. Is that happening still? Yes?
It's
yes?
still happening.
Yeah, we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it.
We are happy
Beautiful.
for you. We're proud of you. Congratulations
Thank
on living out a dream. Make sure you get Connor the VPN so that he can watch the coverage and everything that he needs.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I
yeah.
subscribe
Yeah,
to one.
you sub-
I'll subscribe to one. I'll
Oh,
just
perfect.
Venmo
I got
request
some-
you
I got
for
some
it.
cool
So I'll be
stuff here for
watching.
you guys. 1 second.
You think this is gonna be better than the
I think he's doing push-ups
scorpion
again.
and a lollipop that Frank got me in
Just gonna
Arizona?
watch him do 20 push-ups.
Got the
Oh,
merch.
look at that.
Wow,
the
that's
camera.
slick.
Wow,
That is
the
slick.
side
Can you send that
logo hat.
now?
That has Frank written all over it. That
Yeah.
logo in the corner
Very
thing.
minimal.
Yeah, no need to center it. No need to make it big.
That is
You
a...
gotta walk
No,
around
don't
with
show
this
that. They're
guy.
gonna photocopy
Yeah,
it.
no,
Don't
you
show
didn't.
that.
And I don't know if you guys
This
know
guy.
this. I don't know if you guys know this, but the pins are very popular here.
Let me see.
So I'll
Oh
bring you all
yeah.
back
You gotta
some,
collect
okay?
the pins.
Nice.
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
That's a great one.
Classy. Very
Yeah.
classy.
Actually, I might have lied. That one was all right.
Yeah. No, this is top quality stuff, bro.
There we go.
I don't
Anyway,
even know what
guys,
that last one was.
love you all.
Luggage tag? What was that?
I don't know. I just got a bag full of stuff, you know? Anyway,
Must be nice.
love you all, guys, and much love. Au revoir, bon soirée. I'll be watching. I'll be in the chat. Hit me in the chat. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Subscribe. Humper chats and all that stuff. And keep doing your thing. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys see the
Enjoy
bills?
Bears,
did you guys
bro.
see the bills?
Yes, we did.
You
We
saw
did,
that?
Yeah, shout out.
That was
We
pretty
made
great.
it.
With the
We made it, boys.
the MMA Hour video drop in the video. That was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's sleeping right now.
Au revoir.
Yeah, I'm good, guys. Hey, God bless, guys. God bless, all right?
Take it easy.
Enjoy,
Thank you,
man.
Helwani.
Sleep good.
Bye.
Yeah, love you guys. Take care. Before I say anything stupid, I'm gonna bounce, all right?
Yes, we support this
Yeah,
decision.
All right, see you guys. Take care, okay?
All right, peace, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes, he
Thanks
said
for-
bye
thanks for
4
hopping on.
times.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, see you, man.
Well, that was good. It was good to hear
Just
from
waiting for
him.
that one more see you from him. Can't tell
Yeah.
if he's still on or not.
No, that was really good. Need some sleep, but good to hear from the man himself.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm jealous of him. Paris is going to be great. The Olympics. You want to know the truth? I'm really jealous of the Lululemon outfits.
Of all the
That's-
swag.
That's some high quality stuff.
Yeah.
That's some high quality stuff right there. That's nice. That's a
He's
nice
gonna-
touch by,
he's gonna
by
have
Team
such-
Canada.
He's gonna have such a good time there. It's really. I'm happy for him, and I know he's gonna.
Yeah, how can you not be? I mean, that really is like the pinnacle. You don't get. It doesn't get much cooler than that. The Olympics. repping for
MMA
your
there one
country.
day. What do we think?
I don't know, man. How could you do it in such a short time frame?
There is going to be some real problems in terms of doing the actual fights, the rule sets, the whether there's headgear and things like that. There are some real hurdles to overcome, but I don't know. Maybe it's people who are not like top tier UFC fighters. Maybe it's only amateurs. Something that you don't have to worry about. People being able to compete in their bigger fights once they come, their bigger money fights once they come back. But I don't know. I hope to see it one day.
Right, because
I think it'd be
I mean,
exciting.
yeah, boxing obviously they use the headgear and they've had some success with that, and you've seen some all time greats come through the Olympics and go on to have wildly successful pro careers. So yeah, I mean, if they could manage a way to be able to have X amount of fights in such a short time, then you could probably do it. But that's definitely a hurdle to overcome. Jiu-jitsu you could definitely do, right? Like, I mean, I feel like that's a no brainer.
Agreed. Jiu-jitsu, I mean, they already have wrestling. Obviously, jiu-jitsu would not be a far cry to be able to pull that in.
Yeah, it's amazing that you pull up DraftKings right now and it's got every single sport I was scrolling through. Like it's got wrestling, it's got Olympic boxing, judo, taekwondo, a bunch of people I've never heard of. But yeah, it's a great time. Friday, they get going. I was actually watching Argentina, Morocco.
Day 0,
Soccer.
according to
Yeah,
Helwani.
day 0 is Friday. Yeah, it's already. I got the peacock rolling, man. I'm revved and ready to go. This will all be red, white, and blue next week, but a different type of red, white, and blue.
Love it. What do you want to do here? Should we answer some questions or should we go UFC 304 and then answer them on the back end? What are you feeling?
I feel like we keep riding the wave of UFC 304.
I like it. Let's do that.
Especially off the top of Leon and Bilal. I feel like we're in agreement on what Bilal Muhammad is doing. I don't mind it, actually. I mean, it's getting the people talking.
Agreed. Like, as I said with Ariel, like, I've never thought or wanted to think about Bilal Muhammad much more than I have this week. Like, he has made an impact with this one way or another. Whether I certainly don't agree, right? Like, I do not think a win over Leon Edwards puts him second behind GSP. But
No,
I'm thinking
it
about
actually, like, it inarguably, factually
yes,
does
correct.
not do that.
Correct.
It does not put him at number 2 in the welterweight division.
No, it doesn't even put him ahead of Leon, if we're being honest, and Kamaru Usman and so many others. But people are paying attention to it. So many people, like, as I said, also to Ariel, like the social comments, and you see the people on YouTube and you see how many times these clips have been shared. People are paying attention to Bilal Muhammad in a way that they haven't before. And I think, again, whether he's genuine or not, it doesn't really matter. It's working. But also, this elevates the fight. There's a real chance, like, that Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades is a fight that people care about more. So anything you can do to elevate the main event, anything you can do to make there be more bad blood. And they just had, I believe, an altercation at the Fighter Hotel.
Yeah, they did.
Where they're screaming
Tom
at each other.
Aspinall standing there like an episode of The Office, just kind of watching it on the side.
This is only helping. This is only helping elevate this fight. And I have to admit, I am more interested in this fight. Only on I'm interested in Leon Edwards reacting to Bilal Muhammad's statements. I'm interested in if Bilal Muhammad can back up what he's saying. Like I'm a sucker, but I'm more interested now.
He's also been saying all this. Like I'm kind of looking forward to what he's going to have to say at the press conference. I kind of hope he says some wild, reckless shit there too.
Yeah, totally.
And honestly, all right. So the fight itself is probably not going to be one that like you invite all your buddies over that you're like trying to get into MMA. Like if you just look at their careers, it probably isn't going to be like the most wildly exciting barn burner, like guaranteed to see a knockout fight. Like there's both the guys usually win their fights mostly by decision. And I mean, if you go back and look at the Bilal versus Gilbert Burns, Leon versus Colby, Usman 3, Usman 2 up until the head kick, like they were kind of ho-hum affairs that are like much more technical. But like if you are looking at the background of it, like this is a rematch from 2021 when you got the eye poke and now things need to get corrected. The welterweight title is on the line. Bilal Muhammad, 9 straight wins, 10 unbeaten streak, obviously the no contest. Leon Edwards, 12 straight wins. Like they're like statistically speaking, like the backing of this fight is tremendous. And I'm looking forward to it. Whether the fight is exciting or not, I have to see what happens. I have to find out what happens in this fight.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm excited about this card in general. Like, I think Tom Aspinall is a future champion, whether it be his next fight, whether it be down the line. Like, I just think the guy's skill set and attitude and mentality is just that of a champion. And so I right now I'm still looking forward to that fight the most. If Bilal and Leon can do some work, I might start looking at the main event more closely. But that for now, that's the fight for me.
Nothing's passing the co-main for me. I mean, come on, this is Tom Aspinall we're talking about. One of my favorite fighters, if not my favorite fighter in the entire organization. Average fight time, I think I saw yesterday, of like 2 minutes and 38 seconds. All of his wins by knockout come in the first round. I think in his entire career, he hasn't been past the 8:59 mark. I just don't see a world where this thing is going to a decision. I think it's going to be fireworks. I think it's going to be electric. A lot of people feel like Curtis Blades is getting disrespected in terms of the betting odds. I mean, that's the one for me. And both of them are, we get to find out what really happens across the course of a slated 25 minutes. I mean, obviously the Tom Aspinall Curtis Blades won a couple years back, ended in an injury. And then the eye poke with Leon and Bilal. And one thing I will say about that, I really don't want to hear about the first fights at all. Like, yes, I understand Leon was looking pretty good. It seemed like he won the first round, but things change. It's been 3 years since that. We saw Bilal Muhammad get starched in 60 seconds against Vicente Luque. Then they rematched and he walloped him. And then we saw 15 seconds of Tom Aspinall Curtis Blades. If I swear I've seen it too many times on Twitter, it makes me sick. Curtis was winning those exchanges, man. Like if you go back to the first fight, Curtis was winning those exchanges. It was 15 seconds. We have no idea what was going to happen in that fight.
Could not agree with you more. I
can't stand
I see it a lot more with the Leon and Bilal than I do see it with the Tom and Curtis. But like it was one round. And Leon looked fine. It was a 10-9. It wasn't like he smoked them. Like it was a very regular first round of MMA. And I think there's a reason why it's happening. And the reason is because people want to move on from Bilal. And I think he's doing everything in his power to kind of change that now, which I can appreciate and understand. But everybody just wanted to go, it's over. We don't have to think about Bilal anymore. Now we move on and Leon gets Kamaru and XYZ. So like, I think it's more an indictment on what people thought about Bilal Muhammad at that time and now continue to think about him, and less so about like the idea that like we don't need to see this because Leon was really dominant. I think it's not coming from a genuine place of feeling like Leon is going to dominate this matchup, and the betting odds reflect that it's not expected that Leon is going to dominate this matchup.
Right. He's a favorite, but it's not anything crazy. And I mean, he was as low as like a -170 or something like that. And it was also 3 years ago. Like fighters can change, fighters can progress, fighters can get better over the course of that time. And I'm not saying that Leon Edwards hasn't, but Bilal Muhammad might have, and it's very circumstantial as well. So I'm very much looking forward to it. One thing about this though, it feels like Bilal has been owed a title shot for the last, I mean, at least since last May after he beat Gilbert Burns. It felt like it was unquestionable that this man was owed a title shot, 9 straight wins. Always Bilal. After this, who do you think they go to? Whether it's Bilal or whether it's Leon?
Shavkat Rakhmonov.
We don't even need an Ian Gary fight. No title eliminator. It's just straight up to the nomad.
I don't need to see.
I don't either. The dude's 18-0, 18 finishes. I mean, split it each way, 10 subs, 8 KOs. Like it doesn't matter. The guy's going to get you out of there. So I mean, I'm down for that. But yeah, I just wanted your opinion.
Look, if the timeline doesn't work out and you need to give him a fight before then, you could do Shavkat Ian Gary. You could do Shavkat Kamaru Usman. If either one, Bilal or Leon, come out of this banged up and need some additional time and Shavkat's ready to go, I don't mind those. I don't mind Shavkat fighting somebody else who I think you could push into a title shot, but I don't need to see it. Shavkat's next, in my opinion.
Immediate rematch for Leon if he loses?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he's a long enough reigning champion. I don't think it's like one of those that like, I guess it depends on how it happens, right? If it's like an all-time classic and you need to run it back, Bilal just edges it out, maybe. But I don't think Leon has reached the status where it's like, yeah, we need to run this back immediately. I mean, I'm in general kind of not a fan of immediate rematches in MMA, but
I agree with you. I don't think it'll be an immediate rematch. But one last thing on this fight that we have to get into is the custom shorts for Leon Edwards. I mean, the UFC continues to go to these time and time again, and these are magnificent. I love this emerald green. You got the Union Jack on there. You got the Jamaican flag on there. I mean, it's just tremendous. It's repping all his different homages and everything. I'm a huge fan of these.
I hate to be Debbie Downer. I hate all of them. I never
Shut
like
up, dude.
I never like any of the shorts that they come out with.
This is crazy, dude.
I like Zhang Wei Li's and I like Patty Pimblets, and that's about it. I'm not a fan.
These are Zhang Wei Li-esque. These are like, they're just kind of like a color, and it's like subtle little details, like little like different things to like be like, yeah, these are Leon's custom shorts.
It's fine. I'd prefer this to the alternative, but meh. I say meh.
The Patty Pimblett ones are great too. The orange. I mean,
but these have history. There's an homage here. There's a nod here. That's why I like that.
Shout out Cage Warrior shorts.
Yeah, the Sakuraba scramble shorts that he made famous, or elevated to a certain degree.
No white band for him though.
Yeah, I guess there's some limitations to how much they were willing to alter, but like Leon just looks like he's wearing swim trunks. Like it's not doing anything special for me. I'm unfortunate.
I will say in this edit, shout out to ESPN MMA for making that edit. It feels like they'll be a little bit more subdued once we get them in real time. Like it feels like they brighten those up a bit.
Yeah. Totally. Not as like neon. They're like fluorescent right now. This looks a little more understated.
I think these are great, man.
They're fine. Look, again, don't get me wrong. I dig these to the alternative, like bland, boring colors, but like let them do more. Let them get actually truly creative. Let Patty just wear those other shorts. Let Patty wear the freaking Sakuraba shorts. That's what I want to see. This just feels like a half measure. To steal a term from Breaking Bad, I don't care about the half measure. Let's either go in or out.
I could be mistaken. I don't know what do you have any idea what the flag with the like crown on it, and then he has the crown logo as well on the shorts. Do we know what that is? If we can show that one more time. Yeah, I'm you can call me ignorant. I don't. I don't.
You're a lot more worldly than I am, so you'd probably hit on it before I would.
It has to be something. Maybe is that his logo?
The Isle of Man or something, man.
Is it Isle of Man? Does Isle of Man have a flag?
You're the almanac of all things.
You're the one who would know of us. Nah, so if you don't know, then I don't know.
not the Isle of Man flag. Someone out there has to know, right?
I'm sure we'll get a response. You idiots! You didn't. You
The
didn't pick
chat
up.
just said, "Suck it, man." So they were no help.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But shout out, I love those shorts.
Do we have a picture of Arnold Allen's custom shorts? Arnold Allen revealed that he also will have custom shorts.
So we actually we haven't seen them yet, but he did let us know. He let us know what they were, what they're going to be. Yep, the gray sweats with a piss stain. Cheers, that.
Cheers,
lads. I mean, it's so good. It's so good.
Arnold.
Do you imagine if they actually gave him?
If they actually gave him piss stained gray sweats.
I love that he tagged the UFC in the tweet as well.
Yeah, he made it look very pro. But shout out to Arnold Allen. That was funny. I kind of like, obviously, you don't want somebody walking out with pissed pants, but yeah, I just want them to be able to do what they want. And I don't know, like, I'm here. I'm good with it. I want the fighters to feel like they have, you know, a better version of the shorts. But it's not doing it for me.
That's not surprising for me to hear, if I'm being totally honest with you. The man who wears a black shirt 7 days a week, 365, I don't find it surprising. I feel like it gives him a little bit of personality. It feels like you reach that upper echelon too. I mean, man, I just imagine a year ago envisioning this. Leon's going to be rocking what you call swim trunks and gold gloves.
Yeah, it's a big moment for him to be in this setting and to be in the main event. And you know, Tom's underneath him, even though typically the heavier competitor is going to be above because of the interim status. But like, it's a huge opportunity, I think, for both Leon and Tom to really like stamp themselves as stars. Because if they have the performances that they're capable of having in that arena on that night at that time of day too, like the loudness of the crowd, the decibel meter is going to break. There is going to be a scene in that arena and then outside afterwards as people are like walking out of the arena, wiping crust out of their eyes because it's so bright, loaded to the gills with beer. It's going to be madness over there if they can have those performances.
I am 100% with you. I think especially Tom Aspinall, I think the chances of him delivering a highlight reel knockout are significantly higher than Leon Edwards just because of the way that they fight. Let me just like put you in the shoes of an English fan who's going to be at the Co-op Arena on Saturday. How are you attacking this? Like if you're going to go hard, like fights, like did you get there from fight one and like you're cheering it on? Because that would be getting there at what, like 11 p.m. and then you're just pulling an all-nighter at the Co-op Arena? Or do you try to strategically like wake up at midnight or 12:30 and then get to the arena for the main card and just go balls to the wall for the main card? Like how are you attacking this?
That's a great question. Let's put a pin in that because there will be some people who will likely ask that on the notes.
Okay.
So let's finish looking at the rest of the card, and then I'm sure we will get back to
that. One other thing that I want to say, as much as I love the shorts that the UFC have been giving, the custom shorts, the posters, man, I don't know why they don't just do the artist series poster. This one by Scott Kahn at Scott_Kahn_art. This one
Scott
is just
Cohn.
Scott Cohn. My apologies to Scott. I mean, this one's just unfortunately. Like, how could you possibly not think that this is better than the OG one?
What a sick poster. For those who remember, this is an old school kind of thing. Scott made some art around another UFC event featuring Benson Henderson, and he did like a mock of Benson and Cable. And I still have it up somewhere in my house. He provided it to the show. And it used to be in my little nook when we were at the old studio. Scott is a really super talented comic book graphic artist. And shout out to Scott. And yeah, I mean, just look at the freaking poster. And we say this every time Jian Galong does a poster for them or any of the other artist series. It's like, how is it not a no-brainer that these posters are better? I just don't get it.
It's so good, dude. It's so good. You obviously have like the comic illustration of Leon and Bilal, and then Tom and Curtis and Patty and King. Shout out to King. And then you have like the ghost of the fights past. Like they are wearing the shorts and stuff, like the old Venom shorts and the old Reebok shorts that they were wearing in the past fights. And it's like a ghostly figure of the first fight. It's so good. And then you got the half Union Jack, half Stars and Stripes. it's incredible. I mean, it's one of the best artist series posters put out. I just don't know why they don't license this, commission him, whatever they need to do to just make that the official poster. I feel like they would sell like hotcakes, like an autographed one of these if you're going to the event live. It's so good. I wish the UFC would start doing that.
Just even think about the composition of that poster. Like, there's a version of that's a UFC version, right? Where it's just the two guys facing off, and then the action between the other two guys squaring off against each other, and it just doesn't hit. It just doesn't hit the same way that if you let a real artist kind of make these things, that they can adapt it. So yeah, it baffles my mind.
I'm actually 100% in agreement. Ariel always chimes in on it or harps on it, getting rid of just like the square black boxes at the top and bottom. It makes it look more like it feels like it gives it more personality when it's like this one with just like the UFC 304 in white on top. It's great. If I was going to this event, I would definitely be.
This is something
either
I want in
buying
my
this
house.
poster wherever I could. Yes, I want this framed and like it's something that I could look back on. Like, yep, I was there in Manchester at 6 a.m. when Tommy Aspinall got the knockout. We were all going crazy. We drank till the sun came up. It was one of the best nights of my life. Like, and that's what you have to remember by not the OG. One that's just like them inverted to the side.
Hopefully they sell those on site and people can grab them. Shout out to Scott Cohn.
That would be amazing. Co-main event. We talked on it a little bit. Fight of the night, guaranteed. One you're most looking forward to?
Definitely at the moment the one I'm most looking forward to. Fight of the night, I don't know, because I feel like it could be short, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a sneaky fight of the night that creeps up on us on this one. I feel like there's a lot of fights that have potential to be bangers.
Christian Leroy Duncan and RoboCop could be.
That one could turn mad. That one could get absolutely crazy, man.
Could get crazy. Arnold and Giga could also be a pretty fun back and forth if they really get into it.
I think there's a chance that one is ends up being very very close.
Yeah.
Don't think it's going to be Bukauskas Prochnow. I would be shocked. I feel like Elliott and Parsons show out. I feel like Oban Elliott puts on in front of the crowd. I mean, Kiefer Crosby's a brawler, so him and Sam Patterson could turn pretty mad. Mick Park and Lucas Brzeski, probably not. I'm hoping Mick puts on for the Manchester crowd, but that's not really his style. Him and Tommy train together, but man, they don't fight similar. That is for sure.
I love Makayev and Kopp. What a sick fight. I don't know why that is now a prelim fight.
Do we have any conspiracy theories surrounding that? Any hot takes on why this was on the main card and then the prelims, and now it's been dropped all the way down to the early prelims? And just a reminder, Manel Kopp has had 7 fight cancellations since 2022.
I'm gonna steer away from any conspiracy theories and just say that they adjusted the bout order and did it for whatever reason. I'm excited about the fight.
Likely title eliminator? I feel like these are like the two of the highest ranked guys on the card that aren't fighting for a title.
If Kopp makes weight, title eliminator.
He's saying he's 133 right now.
That's not always a guarantee. Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. Like, you can say whatever you want. If he has to step on the scale and make weight. The winner of this will likely fight for the title. Yeah, it's clear. Like, those two guys are the ones who are next in line. As long as Kopp can make weight, if he gets the win, I'm all for it.
Man, Manel Kopp versus Alejandro Pantoja, sign me up for that.
That'd be so sick.
Muhammad Mahayev obviously is supremely talented, but his style of fighting is much more grappling heavy and control time oriented, whereas Manel Kopp is down to just trade, and so is Alejandro Pantoja. That could be a fantastic fight if it gets made.
I like Makayev and Pantoja too. I'm not mad about that fight. They trained together at AT2. I think there could be some really fun grappling in that one. I dig either of these options. I don't think there's a bad option here for the next flyweight title challenger.
Official prediction for the co-main event?
Tom Aspinall via KO.
That's what I'm thinking too. There it is, baby. There it is. It's gonna be interesting to see what Curtis Blades does in it.
I really think Curtis Blades is live in this fight. I don't think this is like a showcase fight for Tom Aspinall. I think this is a very tough matchup. I think this is one of the tougher matchups for Tom Aspinall because he's facing a guy who has power and because he's facing a guy who has such high-level grappling credentials. Like, this is not just set up for Tom Aspinall to continue rolling and get a title shot. This is a legitimately tough fight. I think Curtis Blades is very, very good, and somebody who I've been predicting to be a potential champion for a while. And every time he kind of got right to the edge of that, to the cusp of that, he kind of suffered a defeat. Now, granted, those defeats were knockouts to some of the hardest punchers in MMA, combat sports, anything history, probably the planet. Like, these are some of the hardest hitters on the planet who caught his chin and knocked him out. That could happen to anybody. But it seemed to happen to him in all the opportunities that he was going to take that next step. So we'll see if he beats Tom Aspinall, man. It'd be hard to
That's what I'm saying.
To not feel like
what
Curtis
happens?
is the guy.
Right? Like, now he's the interim champion. Like, I know John Jones right now, for all intents and purposes, is slated to fight Stipe Miocic later this year for a heavyweight title. Like, it feels like that's what they're going to move forward with. I don't know what happens in the heavyweight division. Like, if either of these guys win this fight, I don't know what's next for either of them.
My feeling is the UFC will probably say, John and Stipe finish their business, and then the UFC will say, John, you've got to do something, right? You've got to do something. You can't just sit and wait. You're going to have to fight. And that fight could be Curtis Blades. That fight could be Tom Aspinall. That fight could be Alex Pereira, right? There's other options on the table.
Okay.
I think John will fight, as opposed to just riding off into the sunset. I think John will fight, but I think there will now that the Stipe business will be concluded, there will be a pressure for John to actually face a contender. And that contender could be Alex Pereira. I don't think that's off the table. I don't think the idea of him coming up is off the table, and that might be a fight that John is a lot more excited and interested for. But I don't think we'll have this pause that we've had while this Stipe business has yet to be concluded.
Listen, man, as much as I love the idea of Alex Pereira versus John Jones and Alex Pereira going up to heavyweight and getting that fight and having the chance to have the most insane, mind-boggling, impossible to comprehend resume if he were to go up to heavyweight, hand John Jones his first legitimate loss and take the heavyweight strap and become a 3-division champion, how can you not fight the interim champ? Like, I understand you're John Jones and everything, but like, how can you have someone come up in a division in their first fight in that division and get the shot at the undisputed when you have an interim champion sitting right there, whether it is Tom Aspinall or Curtis Blades?
Money talks, man. Money talks.
God, as much as I want to see John Jones versus Alex Pereira, that would just be the stakes that would be on the line with that one. You just can't. Especially if it's Tom Aspinall, who would at that point have an interim belt defense and just be idly waiting. And, you know, if that fight doesn't happen until November, I mean, how long are we going to have Tom Aspinall sidelined, or if it is Curtis Blades? Yeah, the heavyweight division is very interesting regardless of who wins.
Is it different if it's Curtis? Do you feel less like you would be opposed to Alex Pereira, or is it no matter who wins, you want this over Alex Pereira?
In my head, it feels like it's different. Like, it's just like, yeah, Curtis Blades, now you'd have the interim belt. It feels like there was way more juice and way more heat behind the Tom Aspinall, John Jones one. I mean, he'd been calling him out on Twitter. Obviously, they had the standoff at that meet and greet and everything like that. It feels like something's really brewing there, and like this new young guard gets to take on the old guard. But still, I would just be like, man, you got an interim champion sitting right here, and you're going to take a guy who's never even fought in this division before.
He's Alex Pereira, though, and all things are possible when you're Alex Pereira.
I mean, I'm saying all this, and I mean, here's Tom Aspinall defending the interim belt this weekend, and Stipe Miocic hasn't fought or won in however many years, and he's getting the fight. So
here's why I feel it's a little bit different than the current situation we're in.
Okay,
nobody is interested in Stipe as champion, right? It's more the people that are interested in John versus Stipe. Nobody's clamoring for like the Stipe Miocic title run, right? It feels more like one last dance than it feels like, okay, we're excited about the contrast that with Tom Aspinall, right? People want Tom Aspinall to be the champion, want to see Tom Aspinall defend that title, want that potential thing against John Jones. Now you've got a situation where you're talking about a potential Alex Pereira and John Jones fight. If you don't think people would get behind the idea of Alex Pereira as heavyweight champion and now 2-weight champion, you're kidding yourself. Like it is not just John's drawing power that we're working with here, right? It is not just does John want to fight? Does John want to fight this opponent? Is John going to stick around? The other side of the equation is a guy that everybody's in love with right now and has all the aura and momentum and juice and whatever you want to call it in the world. And so you're combining those two forces. It feels almost like undeniable. And it also feels, if I'm John Jones, like the smarter, better fight for me to fight Alex Pereira than it does to fight Tom Aspinall or Curtis Blades. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're looking down the barrel of that, if I'm being honest.
I feel like you just listed the order in which John Jones would want to fight those people, and I think it would be Alex Pereira, Tom Aspinall, and then Curtis Blades. Beyond that, I mean, Jones Pereira, $1 million pay-per-view buys,
easy cake.
Yeah, I think easy as well. I think that would do.
You're also
numbers.
There's another storyline there that is you're looking at the light heavyweight champion, the division that John Jones reigned over for the longest time. Like there's so many levels and aspects and layers.
Champ as well.
Champ versus champ. Champ versus champ. Tom would technically, or Curtis would technically be champs as well. But there's so many things that you're unpacking with the potential Alex Pereira versus John Jones fight. I will state for the record, my personal preference is Tom Aspinall versus John Jones, but I ain't mad about Alex Pereira versus John Jones.
I'm gonna say my prediction is gonna be Tom Aspinall is gonna win this weekend, and then either John Jones rides off into the sunset after Stipe, or it's John Jones versus Tom Aspinall after that.
I just can't see John walking away. There's so much money on the line here. I get that we're,
and just his competitive drive is just like next to none.
Well, that's the thing. He's gearing up for this fight against Stipe and posting all this stuff on social about like how motivated he is and doing this. Like, you don't just turn that off after you do it. After you get to that point and then you fight Stipe and presumably win, how do you just turn that off and go, yeah, I'm going to ride off into the sunset? I just feel like it's an impossibility. It's really hard for all, high-level athletes, but fighters in particular in general. And there's just so much money to be made in a potential fight, and I think the most is with that Alex Pereira fight. So if you can land that one, it'd be hard for me to see John walking away. I mean, just look at Dustin Poirier, right? There's guys they just have that. They just have that thing. And it's the biggest opportunity for them to earn money for their families right now. Yeah, I can't see him walking away.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the heavyweight division beyond Saturday evening. But I think Saturday night's going to be a crazy one. I don't know who's going to win. I mean, Curtis was getting the best of the exchanges if you go back and watch that first fight. So, I mean,
well done.
Featured bout of the evening, King, formerly known as Bobby Green, taking on Paddy Pimblett. How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I feel like there's... we will definitely get Frank's thoughts on that. I want to know what Frank's thinking, but I feel like there's a world where Bobby is just too skilled a striker and is able to really frustrate Paddy Pimblett. I also think there's a world where Paddy, who looks to be in absolutely incredible shape, as Ariel alluded to, is able to frustrate Bobby too, right? Like, I think there's a world where he's able to crowd Bobby and maybe not let Bobby look the way he does when he's really flowing. I don't know. I'm really torn on this fight. In betting, it would be like a stay away for me. Like, I just don't really know which direction I'm leaning here, because I could see either one kind of imposing their style, and it has this like frustrating quality to me that I can't really like suss out. I don't have a clear vision for it. What about you?
Yeah, this feels like if Paddy Pimblett can get this one done, it feels like we're really starting to make steps towards like consistently fighting in the rankings. But I think this is a tough test, man. I mean, we've seen Paddy Pimblett get hit before. I mean, he has a 41% striking defense, and Bobby King Green puts up big time volume. I mean, I think he's landed the most strikes in lightweight history. He's got the second best striking differential in lightweight history. Fifth best strikes per minute. Like he has all the striking statistics and acumen. If he doesn't get finished either by submission or knockout, I mean, he has all the skills and the tools to just out volume Paddy over the course of the 15 minutes. So that wouldn't shock me. But yeah, I'm curious to see if Patty's leveled up. And I mean, he looks to be in crazy shape. I know he was talking about having a really rough camp from a mental aspect and going through a lot of shit. So yeah, there is a lot of question marks around it, and I'm fascinated to see what happens, man. And you talk about the crowd being crazy. It's going to be crazy for that one. I mean, everyone's going to be on fire for Patty, and then either guy, whoever gets on the mic afterward, is going to be tremendous. The post fight presser is going to be great. So yeah, I mean, this is another one. These top 3 fights are must see TV for me.
How does Patty get it done if he does? To me, the way the path to victory looks like clinching, getting in tight with Bobby Green, making it dirty, just not letting him stand there and trade in space. Because if he trades in space, like Bobby is a better striker and going to put volume on him, as you said. Like Bobby can stand there and punch all day, and kick and do whatever he needs to do. If he crowds him, if he makes it dirty, if he clinches with him, if he's able to press him against the cage, if he even takes him down, I feel like there's a path to victory there for Patty. But he's going to have to get inside somehow, because otherwise, I think it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, I think the clinch work and the getting takedowns. If you've seen Bobby Green have success in being a defensive wrestler, are paramount to him getting it done. Because, like you said, dude, if he just stands at range and just tries to strike with Bobby Green for 15 minutes, besides like a knockout, I just don't see how Bobby Green isn't putting the volume and the pace on him and winning a decision over the 15 minutes.
Yeah, I called him Bobby. I keep doing that. I hope he forgives us.
Man.
It's going to be hard to transition that, but especially because it's not like he just like as an example, right? Meta World Peace. He just changed his name, right? It wasn't everything. Nobody called him Ron Meta World Peace Artest. But Bobby has always been Bobby King Green because of his nickname, and so it's just this weird thing. Like the green is almost like assumed, and I can't get my head around it. But I will correct it. And sorry to King Green for calling him Bobby.
Where are you at with it, Frankie? You've been standing in the mirror at least 30 minutes every day this week practicing King Green, so you don't mess it up.
Don't dead name the guy. Come on.
Yeah, I apologize.
Well, as you should. And I think that this is going to be
dead naming saying his old name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Using a name that somebody no longer goes by.
Just in. It's 2024, Connor. Come on. And this time next week,
we're going to canceling me right now.
Nobody's canceling anybody. Come on. Except for King Green will be canceling Patty.
Oh,
probably.
Wow.
Shocking prediction here
early in the first round.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, honestly, like, Patty has won
biggest...
the last 2 by what decision? One was like a shrug decision. The one with Ferguson was like, okay, but
that was a good performance.
I said, you know, it was less of a shrug, but I feel like this one,
not to rain on the parade, but like didn't King Green get brutally knocked out back in December?
You know what?
What the fuck is that?
I'm just. I mean, we're playing the last couple fights. I'm just bringing that up.
I got you. No, you're fine. So I think with this, though, you're right. The volume is going to be there, and Patty's going to have to try to take him down early on. But
don't mind me just plugging in my computer here.
Where are you going?
He said he's
maybe he is
being
canceled.
No, he's plugging in his computer.
People in suits have just shown up, and they're like, "Come with us."
Yeah, I'm very compelled by this fight. No, don't cut to me. Leave GC's empty seat there. I'm extremely compelled by this fight, and I think Patty might be a little bit underrated or being counted out here.
I don't think he's counted. What is going on here? This is why we have rehearsal time. Wait.
He just had to get the juice. It's okay.
Yeah, all right.
Whew. Forgot to Got to
even watch
old CPU before the show started. Yeah, my computer was about to die. We would have really been in some trouble there if that had happened.
GC, what's the line on this one? Green and Pimblett?
We were talking about a pre-show. -118 Bobby Green, -102 Patty Pimblett. Basically a coin flip, man.
It feels right.
A good one.
It feels like
I mean, it's just like we were just saying, man. Like I think there's a path there for Bobby Green that he could definitely win, but I'm curious to see what Patty brings to the table.
I think it's a coin flip because the books are like, well, who knows with these judges? So
the hometown advantage for Patty.
They're like, well, we've had it go one direction before, and
that would not go well for Patty. That last one was hard to dig out of after the Gordon one. That one's haunted for a bit.
Yeah. I love that we have the president of the King Green fan club working on the show with us.
Damn straight.
And Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And Amanda Serrano.
Uh-huh.
Is that your
And
top
Kayla
three
Harrison.
favorite fighters?
Jasdavizius.
Frank?
And Jasmine.
Yeah.
That's your top 5. Jasmine Jasdavizius,
And-
Kayla Harrison, King Green, Jake
Mike
Paul, and
Goddard.
Amanda Serrano. Mark Goddard is your favorite ref, obviously. Yeah, big fan, Mike Goddard.
No, come on.
Who, me?
Don't dead name him, Frank.
I feel like this fight has real potential for being a coin flip now, and then in hindsight, everybody being like, "Oh, duh," like this was the obvious side. You know what I mean? And it could be either side of it. It feels like one of those fights that like somebody's gonna kind of cruise, maybe somebody's gonna look pretty impressive, and then we go, "Oh, duh, should have taken them at -118 or whatever the hell."
I kind of feel the same about the co-main event in a different manner. Obviously, Aspinall is a big favorite this week, and his number has just been growing. I mean, he opened at like -200. He's like -370 or something now. And like the take that I'm seeing everywhere is like, how could this possibly be for Curtis Blades? Like this is the most disrespectful line I've ever seen. And I think either Curtis Blades is going to win probably by finish, and everyone's going to be like, free money. Like I can't believe they said that line.
Yeah.
Or Aspinall is going to win. And it's going to be like, yeah, no duh, he was that big of a favorite. Like. He's so good. It just feels like no matter what side you were on, if you end up having a winning bet, it's going to be like, yeah, duh, dude.
Yeah, never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt. Any other fights you're like, obviously top 3 are the best. What is the fight beyond the top 3 that you're most looking forward to?
I looked at it again when we were talking earlier. I feel like it's got to be Christian Leroy Duncan and RoboCop.
It's got to be right, and that's the 4th
So
fight.
sick.
Like it's like it just has such like. Gregory Rodriguez is just willing to put it all on the line for the sake of mixed martial arts, for the sake of the fans, and like he's just down. Like he is just down. And Christian Leroy Duncan has brilliant striking. I have a hard time seeing this not being a fun fight.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I mean, this card, top to bottom, even the fights, because of the setting, even the fights that are not like jump off the page, amazing, can't miss fights, they're just going to feel so much better because of the setting of it being in Manchester. Now, I think it's going to be super interesting to see how this fight night feels because of the time. I don't think there's any way to avoid that is going to be a topic of conversation and also affect the fans and also affect the commentators and also affect the performance of the athletes. I'm interested to see how that all plays out, but the atmosphere is going to be amazing, and just like even like from the first prelim to the last, I feel like it's going to make this card elevated no matter what. Like it's because of where it is and because of what's happening, it's just going to feel huge, and I'm so excited to experience that.
I'm with you, dude. I think it's going to be amazing. I think the crowd is going to deliver, because I feel like if you're going to go, you're going to pay all this money, you're going to stay up all night for it. You just got to go all in. You just got to forget everything else of just like, yep, it's 4 a.m. and we're waiting for Nathaniel Wood to get on with his fight here. Like, you just got to forget all that and just be like, we're here till either Leon or Bilal wins, and we're just going to go full bore 100% the entire time. And I think that's what most of the crowd is going to be thinking.
Yeah. And we get to experience it and enjoy it at the normal time for us. So we're lucky. My heart is with those people in Manchester.
I wish they got it at a normal time. An afternoon card would have just done me right, man.
Yeah, me too.
I'm itching for an afternoon card. I mean, listen, I know this is the sport we're in. You got to stay up late for it, but there's nothing better than getting off one of these watch parties and you're like, it's only 6 o'clock. This is great. I actually have my Saturday evening and I'm chilling, and now
Sunday
I can just
morning
is
the part that I look forward to. I lose Sunday morning, and I want Sunday morning back.
Oh, dude, the Sunday mornings I feel like a zombie.
Yeah,
like I wake up and like my parents, like right now, after the 3:03, like they obviously went to bed at like 9:30 p.m. I like come downstairs at 10 or 11. They're just like, late night. I'm just like, yeah.
You don't even know.
I was up late. Did you guys see what happened? Did you guys see Alex Pereira won by knockout again? They're like, who? Who is that? One other fight on this one, the curtain jerker, Shauna Bannon of Ireland, taking on debuting Alice Ardeline, who, if you've never heard of, she is a TikTok superstar. Not like she's 9-5, not the craziest resume. Has fought Zhang Wei Li, got got beat by her and has fought Diana Belbita, but not the craziest resume. But the TikTok game, man, 3 million big ones.
If you had to
old,
describe her
Alice
content,
Ardelin.
what is her content?
Yeah. So I kind of did this live with our friend Jed Mashu yesterday on No Bets Barred. It's like it's like sexual jokes, and then she like has this like this signature face that she makes afterward. So like, I mean, she has 97 million views on this video of it's like some sort of dishwashing device, and it's a cup going up and down on it, and then it just flashes to her face, and she makes this like weird face, raises her eyebrows. 97 million views, 6.1 million likes. What I'm wondering is if you go back and if you go through all of her TikToks, like it seems to be. I think we should call it the Alice Ardelin signature face. I'm wondering if we're gonna get.
Oh, if she wins,
signature Alice Ardelin. Either she wins or during the introductions, if like Bruce Buffer's calling her out and it goes to her and she makes the face. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at one and like it's her green screened over a hot dog factory where like the hot dogs are spraying everywhere.
I'm starting to get. I'm starting to get the idea. I'm starting to understand what you're saying here.
Yeah, I mean, but like, yeah, she's like a meme girl. A lot of like outfit checks.
Now, can she fight?
That's what we're gonna find out. That's what we're gonna find out on Saturday evening against one Shauna Bannon. And we're gonna find out. There's a little bit of MMA content on here. Shout out. But yeah, either way, she's killing it, man. She's killing it. 3 million followers, 77 million likes. She's doing good by herself.
I'm on TikTok religiously. I have not come across her, but now I feel like it's going to get served into my algorithm.
Well, your phone's probably listening to us right now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Is she performing well on others? I mean, it's still almost like 600K followers on IG too. Like she seems to just be doing well.
Shout out. She's like the 3rd biggest star on the card. Tom?
Yeah.
Leon? No, 4th. Tom, Leon, Patty, this girl. No, maybe Molly is above too. But
no,
shout out to her.
I think this girl might be above Molly. Yeah, so definitely some outfit checks, some weightlifting videos. But yeah, curious to see how she does. I mean, we could have the next UFC superstar on our hands.
I love it.
Are we going to eventually get the Alice Ardelin, Zhang Weili 2 for the strawweight belt?
That's right. I did look that up
Streets
earlier.
are talking. The people are talking. Ardelin versus Weili 2. I mean, we know who the A side would be in that one.
Yeah, maybe they could. Where's she from? Where is she based?
Flag she flies is Romania. She is fighting out of Birmingham, England. Wow. I wonder if her in England.
Okay, so now that makes sense.
Leon are boys. I wonder if Leon did her a favor.
Yeah, they could bring it back to Manchester. They could bring a fight card to Birmingham next year. They do Leon Edwards,
headlines.
and then she's in the co-main.
Alice Ardelin, Zhang Weili 2 in the co-main for the belt.
I dig it.
Does Alice Ardelin get a title shot off a win over Shauna Bannon?
Just because the rematch, you sell the bad blood. I'm going to say no.
Saying, I have to throw out there, I've said this a couple times before, Shauna Bannon's nickname not being the Cannon, that hurts, man. That hurts.
Missed opportunity there.
It feels like it should be Shauna the Cannon Bannon, right?
Yeah,
it's Mama B.
It definitely rolls off the tongue. It's a natural. It feels like a good fit. What is her current nickname?
Mama B.
Oh yeah, well, I kind of dig Mama B though. I dig it. Look, Cannon's great, but I do dig Mama B.
I think I'm going to go with my fight I'm most looking forward to, other than the top 3. I think I'm going to go with Sam Patterson, Kiefer Crosby. I think it turns
could be
into
fun.
overall.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be crazy.
These are all good. Like even the ones that are not like high level per se are just going to be fun and going to be exciting. They've booked a really strong card from top to bottom here, and the crowd is going to go nuts for it.
For real, man. Like even Molly's kind of like, I mean, she's a massive favorite. She's like minus 350, and it's just like, why not? Like, why not give her a fight where she's probably going to win, because the crowd's going to pop like crazy, and you can just throw her back in there next year for the same thing.
Yeah, love it.
Last one I wanted to get into, because we didn't really talk about it. Arnold Allen Giga Chikadze. First one on the main card. I mean, I'm all in on my boy Arnold. He's going to walk out in the gray piss-stained shorts. I'm all in.
No sweatpants, gray sweats.
Gray sweats, piss stain. He needs to bounce back, man. I mean,
Yeah.
2 straight losses, obviously tough defeats in both of them against really tough guys, Mofsar and Max Holloway, not easy to get past. And then the weird finish against Calvin Kattar. I need a nice, like, Dan Hooker-esque performance. I need like a nice, clean win here for the Almighty.
Is that the direction you're leaning?
No, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think it's going to be a really good fight, but I do think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think Giga's kind of a little bit of like out of sight, out of mind. I think people forget like how good a striker Giga is. It's going to be fun. I really like that fight, and I think it has potential to really like be some high-paced, like solid action. Arnold versus like Max was fun. Was like, now granted, like, you know, Max was pretty comfortable in that fight, but when Arnold did really come forward and press him and bring the action to Max, like it turned into a real scrap. It turned into a fight, and I think Giga and Arnold are going to be a good matchup for each other. So I'm excited to see how that one plays.
Arnold's still young too, man. He's 30, 19-3. Like he's got time. He's got time. So I really hope that he rights the ship with this one. Any closing thoughts on 304 before we answer some questions?
Nope. Excited. Really good offering by the UFC. Perfect bookings and landed in the right spot. Feel bad for the fans. Feel like they were hard done. But it's going to be a great night.
You starting full English on Saturday? Fish and chips for lunch?
No.
Tea throughout the day?
No,
nothing.
No.
Wow. Frankie, you hitting up tea and sympathy?
Absolutely. Drinking a
Couple
Beck's right now.
Let's go. Quickly before we get to the questions, I just wanted to remind you guys that the MMA Hour is it's sponsored by DraftKings. So just stay tuned throughout the rest of the program because you're going to hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. Don't forget, DraftKings, the crown is yours.
No problem, mate. Yeah.
All right, questions?
Yeah, let's start
run
the on the nose.
It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A.
Look at this. Am I big screen all show? I mean, this is great.
Ladies and
Got the
gentlemen,
Becks
the moment
on.
has arrived to
Doing
hear
good.
from the man himself, Ariel
Nice little
Helwani.
head nod there.
Live from the Vox Studios in
There we go.
beautiful New York City.
There it is.
Who did
On
the song
nose.
again?
And now, to
Mikey
answer your
Heck,
questions,
baby.
get out of your
Shout
seats
out.
and on your feet
Shout
because here he is, Ariel Helwani.
We should have cut to his chair. Okay, there he is, Ariel Helwani. We miss you. We love you. Enjoy Paris, Ariel. Okay, on the nose. Question number 1. Dominic asks, "What up, GC Rick and the rest of the crew? My question is, what country that has not hosted a UFC event yet would you love to see host one in the future, and what would the ideal main event be for it? Not including places like Spain or South Africa that have been talked about already. Completely new locations not in the discussion. For example, I think a fight night in Rome, Italy with Marvin Vettori as the headliner would be legendary. Love you guys. What do we think? Where would you want to see one?"
Yeah, so I mean, I guess he just read my mind. That was some magic stuff right there because I first immediately was just like Spain, South Africa, country in Africa. I just think bringing it to the continent period would be incredible. He's not far off with a Rome one. I mean, just going to Italy would be fantastic. And oh man, that's ridiculous.
Well,
I don't
Elon
think so.
and Zuckerberg were talking about booking it already when that was a thing.
I mean, that would have been that would be insane. But even just like, have they ever been to Italy before?
I don't think they have been to Italy. So yeah, I think that was why he suggested that one, because he's saying like never been there and no talk of it having happened. So yeah,
There's only one place.
Where is it, Frank?
Antarctica.
Oh God, what a
Outside.
Can you play the Price is Right horn for yourself on that one? Yeah. Thank you.
Someone out there is watching and they're like, that's a damn good idea.
I think if you're not going to do Spain, if Merab Dvalishvili is able to get the bantamweight title, doing a card in Georgia. I mean, we saw how passionate their fans are when Ilya won. I mean, they're lining up in the streets at 6 a.m. or whatever it was over there, watching in the town square. If you could have 2 champions that have ties to Georgia, I think that would be great.
The key to all of this, and you kind of hit on it, is you need the fighter. The fighter that can
Yes.
bring you to the place is the most important. So, you know, like somebody like Ilya opening up the idea of Spain, or somebody like Drickus opening up the idea of South Africa, that is how you get to these places. And so it is dictated by that. And that is where we will see potential movement, is when somebody comes up from one of those countries.
Going like crazy off the beaten path. Like Kazakhstan is like fight hungry. Like they love fights. If you could get Shavkat to be like a long reigning champion, bringing a card to Kazakhstan would be wild to see. People pulling up on horses and whatnot.
Yeah, be sick. All right. Landon asks, this question is for you, Ariel, not here. GC, NYric, Rick, and Frank. Can you recall the first time you saw a fight in person? Not a professional fight necessarily, but a fight you may have seen in school or in public. How did you feel when it happened? And do you think that moment has anything to do with the career you guys have now?
That's a good question.
I mean, that actually is a great question. I've seen numerous fights throughout my life in person. It's typically always been like, I've seen a few at sporting events break out. One time I went to a Raiders-Chargers game back when it was in Oakland, and I saw like a massive brawl break out between Raiders and Chargers fans. Some dude just got leveled, and then it was just wild scenes from there. In high school, one of the first high school fights I ever saw was actually between two girls, and like we were all sitting in class, and then just like the window by the door, these two girls just like go flying by, and they both are like holding each other's hair, screaming, and like everybody just ignored the teacher and dumped out into the hallway, and these girls are just like just holding each other's hair like hockey fighting, just like punching each other in the face, and like you're in 9th, 10th grade, like everyone's pulling the phones out, going crazy. Yeah, I mean, and then in college, like you know, you go to the bars in college, people drink, fights break out all the time. Yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with the career I got into, but I mean, that'll wake the people up. You see a fight in person, that'll wake the people up for sure.
Yeah, my first fight I saw in person was also a school, like somebody in, was it elementary? Yeah, in elementary, challenged another kid to a fight after school, and then they fought. That was it. And everybody, the whole day, this is, what was I, maybe 5th grade, 4th grade? We're just like, oh, did you know that Jason is going to fight Tom in the yard? And then they fought.
Oh, this was a planned thing. This was like,
oh, yeah.
They were selling tickets, posters made.
No tickets, but they had the crowd assembled. Like the first like 5 fights that I saw in my life were all like, you in the yard 3:30, meet me, and they all fought, and I was at every single one of them. And I don't think it had any impact on me getting into MMA, but I'd have to talk to like a therapist about that.
Reminds me, one time in high school, I was walking home in my subdivision, and this I grew up in Texas, by the way. This pickup truck just comes like peeling through the street. So like I turn around, they park. Park is a understatement. They drove onto someone's lawn. Dude comes out of the truck. He's an older, maybe a senior at my high school, pulls his shirt off, starts yelling. Other guy comes out from his house. He's like, what do you want? He's like, I want to fight you. And they're just sitting there having pleasantries with each other. And they're about to throw down, and it gets real quiet. So I look, because I'm walking. They're both on their phones. And this is like before texting was like a big thing. And I couldn't understand that. So the next day I'm like, hey, I saw this guy and this guy. They had a lot of beef with each other on the lawn. But then they just started using their phones, and I don't know what that's about. And then this guy goes, well, it ain't a fight if there's nobody there to watch it. So they probably had all that like energy, and then they realized like we need an audience, or it's going to be your word versus my word. I think that says a lot for like the apex, that maybe they should consider it's not a fight if no one's there to watch. I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a.
I like your little crescendo there, which is like the apex sucks.
Y'all ever been in a fight?
How much can you know about yourself if you've never been in a fight?
I've never been in like a fight where somebody's like, hey, I want to fight you. I've been in several like what I would call as like fracases, where it's just like a bunch of guys are out at a bar, me and my friends are out at a bar, somebody says some stupid shit, and then people are just fighting. I've been in a few of those, maybe 3, 4 of those, but I've never been in like I challenge you to a fight. I've only been in wild late nights going haywire.
Yeah, I've never been in like I challenge you to a fight, let's fight at 3:00 out in the yard thing. Anything that's ever happened has been like naturally, and it just like tensions rise, and then someone throws a punch, and it just goes from there. Yeah. What about you, Frank? You ever been in a fight?
Not like a formal fight, just some fists thrown. And that's it.
You ever been
How'd
just
that
like
go?
socked in the
Did
face?
you win?
No.
Sad.
I've been
Sad
socked in the
scenes.
face before. It's a wild feeling.
Yeah, I think I feel like most people. I mean, maybe I'm mischaracterizing it. I feel like most people have gotten punched before, but
Oh yeah, for sure. Several times.
but being in a fight, I think, is a different. Like I would never say I've been in a. You know what I mean? Like that's a
There's
different.
definitely
thing.
a formality to it.
Yeah,
right?
there's a formal
Yeah, I
process.
guess there's like different levels to it. Like it's like the one of the first fights I ever got into was like with one of my best friends, and like he threw a punch, and then I threw a punch, and then we tackled each other, and then there were more punches thrown. Like
That feels like a fight. I consider that a fight.
I was gonna say, like right after it, I was like, yeah, we definitely got in a fight, but I've never been in like a.
I've never even been in that. I've never even been close to that.
Well,
Just
guys,
like
the night
I've
is
had
young.
that too.
We could change.
I've had
those.
that 2 or 3 times, and it was always with friends. Anytime it was strangers, like what you're talking about, like late night affairs, I
Yeah.
was always kind of the guy like, yeah, let's all just chill.
Chill.
Like whatever we're arguing about does not matter. Let's just
yeah, I'm that
let's
guy
just take
too.
it
But
down
then
to
if your
the-
friend punches the other guy, then
Yeah.
you're
yeah, then you
fucked.
got to
Like-
do something. I actually did one time I actually got one of the times that I've been hit in the face was actually because of my friend. And
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I feel like we should all just kind of chill out. And I walk in and dude just blindsides me, just sucker punches me, and nose starts just gushing blood. I'm just like, damn, man. And by the time like I could even realize what was going on, all like police officers were there, cops were like yelling at me. I'm like, dude, I was trying to help, man. It was I was down bad.
Yeah, that's the key because you got to get it in quick before the cops come. So it's a scurry away before the police arrive. Okay. Patrick asks, GC, which Atlanta throwback would get you more love walking down the street, Mike Vick or Dominique Wilkins?
Ooh, man. Mike Vick is gonna get you from like the diehards. Like the Mike Vick era in Atlanta was like a time like any other. Like just he like gave the Falcons real hope of like winning a Super Bowl in like the craziest way. He's getting in all those commercials. Like I'll never forget the one where it was like the Mike Vick Experience Nike commercial where you rode a roller coaster and like you put on a headset and it acted like you were Mike Vick. Iconic Nike commercial. If you've never seen it, look it up on YouTube. Like it felt like he really like put us on a platform. Like when we went to the Super Bowl in '98, it was Chris Chandler, and like we did have the Dirty Bird, which was iconic as well. But like Mike Vick was just such like a like superstar player. He was a superstar at Virginia Tech. We took him 1 overall. He took us to an NFC championship in '04. Like he just like you get that old all black with the straight up Falcon on it 7. I actually have the jersey. People are definitely going to be like, oh, that's a good one. Dominique Wilkins is a classic. If you're rocking the like the red and yellow one, that's a great one. Honestly, for me, if you're going to go a Hawks jersey, the 90s Hawks with the giant bird across it, I actually believe Kirk Cousins wore one to training camp today. That is probably my favorite Atlanta sports team jersey. I'll go Mike Vick over Dominique Wilkins, though.
I feel like it's also generational, right? The old heads are going to love a
Yeah.
Dominique Wilkins, but like people
for
our
sure.
age and younger are going to, maybe not younger now that I think about it. Mike Vick's career was quite a while ago, but people our age would
Oh,
definitely
brother.
appreciate Vick.
And then obviously, like, you have to go from a morality standpoint. Like Dominique Wilkins is like
Yeah,
a
but
commentator and does good things in the city. He has a statue outside of what is now State Farm Arena. Mike Vick obviously exited the city of Atlanta with a taste of disdain. You know, left the franchise high and dry as well. Not only on top of the crimes that he committed. We were stuck with like Joey Harrington for 3 years, and we were god awful. So yeah, but like jersey itself, I'm gonna go Mike Vick.
He also asks, Patrick also asks, NYric, you've been with Ariel the longest. Have you ever caught a stray from any of his beefs? No, nobody knows who I am or cares who I am. It'd be like, you know,
me?
taking a shot at like the entourage. Like if Kendrick and Drake were just like, who's that random guy that's like always standing on the side of the video and doesn't do anything? Like, just not. Nobody's interested in me or cares about me. So no, I've never caught a stray. Juan Sanchez asks, hello, GC and Rick. Really love when you guys take over. You have a great dynamic, and it feels like the student's taking over the classroom while the teacher's gone. Etiquette question for both of you. Thank you for the kind words. Etiquette question for both of you. At what point is it appropriate expected to ask passengers in your car while you were the driver to chip in for gas money? Is it based on distance? Time? Would it depend on whether you invited them or not? Is it ever rude to ask? On the flip side, when do you feel compelled as a passenger to offer the driver, whether it's a friend or family member, some money for the drive? Thank you for all the fun shows. Much love,
man,
Juan.
Thank you for the love, Juan. And this is a great question. I mean, in my opinion, if you are staying local, then like it's out the window. You don't ask for gas, and like you don't pay for gas. Like if you're going anywhere within, I would honestly say like within like 45 minutes to an hour, like you are staying local enough to not have to ask or pay for gas money. If you're going somewhere where you are going to stay over the night, like you drive like 2 hours, then in my opinion, you got to pay for gas. Like you got to at least chip in something, because now they're also going to do the trip back. You're going to get like 4 hours total. Shit. It's obviously going to cost them money. They're putting the miles on their car. Also, the person that drives usually gets the short end of the stick on drop-offs and everything like that. You got to chip in some gas. I'm always if someone's driving out of their way and driving for like a road trip, you gotta pitch.
What if you're, playing the in-flight entertainment? Sometimes you're the passenger, you're keeping this conversation alive, getting them focused.
Absolutely. So you're saying if you do a job that is valuable, that is the payment. Right. That is what you're saying?
If I'm sitting in the back seat, just keeping to myself, totally, here, I'll pay for half of it. But if I'm in the front seat with you and we're broing it out the entire time.
You're acting like you're doing a favor by paying for half of the gas that we're using for transportation, that I'm putting the miles on my car, going out of my way to drive you.
Look, I'm sorry if I offended you in the past by not offering to pay gas. Although
Frank threw me $0 when I drove him home from Atlantic City. This is what we're getting at here.
But you were like, hey, originally I was like, I'm not up for this drive. And then you were like, oh, it was really pleasant. It was over before you knew it because I kept the vibes alive.
Frank contributed by keeping the vibes.
I couldn't get that same thing from Rick, so I ended up paying for his parking. Tried to grab him lunch. He wouldn't let me do it. And that was because I was just like, damn, like I wasn't in a good mood. I wasn't keeping him engaged enough. Even when we drove through the fire, I was trying to record it. He was just like, stop with that. You, on the other hand, Connor, we seemed very, very pleased. So I was like, transaction complete.
Yeah, and honestly, like that, Frankie, when I was on the way to pick you up, I was just like, okay, I wish I was doing this drive by myself. I would kill to just be solo cruising. But here I am driving out of my way to pick up Frank and his lovely wife. But it ended up being great.
Saltwater taffy.
The saltwater taffy was good.
I'm with GC here. I think you have to just be reasonable about the distance, right? Like, how far are you going? If you're staying inside your city, probably not. But if you're going outside your city, you're going on a road trip. If you're going to a different city, different state, that's probably where it'd be expected. I personally would never ask somebody to pay for gas. First of all, I have an electric car. Second of all, I just wouldn't ask. If somebody volunteers it, I will politely decline. And we'll just go on with our days. But I appreciate gestures like Frank's, and that's it. I don't mind a drive, so I'm not like hard up, and I'm good. But I think expectations wise, like, yeah, if you're going on a decent trip, like you should probably pipe up and try to pay for gas.
Yeah, if you ask me for like $5 for gas because we rode around for like 30 or 40 minutes in our like local city, I will tell you to F off for sure.
Yeah. Totally.
I would be like, absolutely not.
He mentioned family. I'm not asking my family to pay for gas.
No, family is a different story. No, I'm not. I'm talking about like we plan a trip together and I step up and I'm just like, yo, I got it, guys. I'll drive us there. Then, like, especially like I've been on trips before where like I'm driving and we'll stop to fill up the gas and it's like $60, $65 to fill up the tank. And I'm just like, man, gas is pretty expensive. And everyone's just like, yep, no offer. I'm just like, you mind throwing?
Like, did I ever tell you about my upbringing?
Man, the worst is when you like pay like $80 to fill up, and you throw it out there, just like, yeah, yo, you mind throwing me a couple bucks for gas? And like they take it literally, and they Venmo you like $10, and it's just like, thanks, man.
So GC saying though, it's okay to ask, but be reasonable. Like,
Be
and
reasonable,
hopefully
yes.
they volunteer instead of you having to chase them down. All right.
That's the best. When a friend just says, yo, here you go, man.
Unlike Frank. Patty the Fatty asks, what is the largest animal you each think you could defeat in hand-to-hand combat? I think I could take a coyote, is his suggestion.
A coyote, I would be scared for my life. Like if
Yeah,
I'm
see
forced
that?
into combat with it.
Yeah, I think I could take a whale, because what are they going to do? I'll just punch them.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, this is hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah, they have no hands, so I win.
How long would it take to kill a whale with your bare hands?
He's
I
going
don't
to
know if it's
suffocate. He's
possible.
going to die before I even have to do anything.
Well, that's actually a better question. Do we have to go to their domain or are they coming to ours?
I think it's up to us. I would drag the whale has to meet me on land, and then I'm just going to punch him a few times until he dies.
So that's what I was going to say. There's no dragging a whale. Like a whale is just too heavy. It will just one flip of its flipper. Its
I'm
tail
cooked.
fin. You're off of it. And like also it could just dive. Like we're talking about this thing weighs as much as like 20 school buses. Plus like hand to hand, like the only way you're beating a whale is if it suffocates. Like hand to hand, you just like you're not doing anything to a whale.
He can't reach me either, though.
You're taking no damage, but also the whale is also taking no damage.
Until he dies. Until he dies.
Just hand to
Then I
hand
win.
though. Especially if you got to go
It's
into
still
the water. I don't
hand-to-hand.
know if
He
whale
just
is
died.
this easy.
If I'm fighting you
By
hand to hand,
suffocation, yeah.
if I'm fighting you hand to hand and you have a heart attack, I still won.
Yes, of course, but we need to
whale-
get some guidelines on where the whale battle is taking place.
I'm saying it's happening on the beach.
Okay, well, I mean, this gives you an obvious advantage. You could beat a shark on the beach. You could beat any
whale's
that
bigger.
requires water.
The whale's bigger.
Yeah. I mean, you could just beat anything that requires water at that
can.
point.
And I'm picking a whale.
Actual that you like, let's say a land mammal. It might top out at a coyote. Actually, like, nah, I feel like a horse.
What about
would
like a
really mess.
big pig or something? You could probably beat up a
Yeah,
pig.
Yeah, but like not a boar. A boar could
No,
really, like, if
not a
boar's
boar. I'm
angry,
talking
it
like
could-
a real docile like pig.
a cow. Like a cow, you could
No,
you
because
could
what if
take
the
care
cow
of.
kicks you? What if it bucks and then you're just like,
Yeah, but I mean, and not a bull. I'm saying like a cow. I feel like I could handle. Donkeys are vicious.
I'd be
I got
scared
chased
walking
down
up
by
on
a
a cow.
donkey one
Yeah,
time.
cows are
honest.
crazy, man.
I'd be scared.
Mad cow
Cows?
disease. Shoo.
Yeah, not a bull. A cow is probably where I'm looking at. Is there anything else that's just like elephant is just absolutely
No,
Turtle,
clearing you
man.
in
Come
one
on,
step?
just flip it over.
No, but that's
do a
not
little-
big. That's not that big.
Wow. You gonna say that to the
feel-
turtle's face?
Yeah. I will actually when I'm scrapping with it and flipping it over on its
When you
shell
flip it
and
over.
kicking it.
See, but that's what
Uh,
I'm saying. You're flipping it over on its shell. That's just
Yeah,
You're
but
just
you gotta
waiting
get
for it
close
to
enough.
die.
You could snap your hand
not-
off, and you're
not
like, you got
punching it.
flipped.
this is my whale argument.
I'm heading to Google to look up the biggest animals in the world. Like
There's some
ostrich is
giant
doing me
turtles, by the
in.
way.
No,
elephants
ostriches are
doing me in.
vicious.
That's what I'm saying. A crocodile's doing me in. Giraffe, polar bear is just like running through me like a hot knife through warm butter.
Also, I'm
Capybara is pretty big.
I'm
That-
not
that
beating
doesn't
up a coyote. A coyote's gonna
Coyotes
rip
are
me apart.
small, man.
No, it's still gonna
Coyote,
rip me
all
apart.
it's
If
all
they're in a
how the
pack,
fight opens.
get out
If
of
you
there.
can get in a good position against the coyote, you can take it. Or if you land a big kick, like you're live
Wow.
against the coyote.
Really thought
if
about
you're
this.
forced to fight a coyote, like a coyote is probably the limit of if I saw it in the wilderness and it like attacked me, I'm really gonna try and fight. Like a grizzly bear, it's over, man. It's over. You just have to accept the fate. It sucks. I don't know. It might not be over
It's tough.
fast. This
R.I.P.
is
the
good.
grizzly
Yeah,
man.
it's tough.
It's
The grizzly is taking you out. Coyote, I'm fighting, man. I'm scrapping. I'm definitely.
You're not
going
going
to
to fight a
big
coyote
head
by
kick on its
itself.
way in.
They're pack animals. So like in Arizona, you'll hear in the middle of the night
All
where
right,
it
so then
sounds
they're teaming
like
up on me.
yeah, like you hear in the distance something that sounds horrendous, and it's like, what's that? Oh, it's a pack of coyotes. Like,
No, but in this scenario, let's pretend like the coyote's in an enclosure, like it's one.
Wow.
You're not
Then
getting
it's-
teamed
Oh,
up.
1v1?
Yeah.
wow. Look at those. Have you
I'ma
seen them?
fight.
They look skinny. They're not going to fight. Yeah, he's right.
That's what I'm saying. One calf kick and he might be compromised at that point.
Dunzo.
You're kicking the coyote in the calf.
I mean, a knee
They
when he
got
comes
little
in.
calves, but they still count.
right.
A
I mean,
penguin
yeah,
is the
there's-
one where I draw the line.
we don't stand much of a chance. Like a capybara is fairly docile and large. Like hippo is just clearing me out. I stand it's crushing my head like a watermelon. American bison done.
I got
Orca,
a great answer.
Done.
I got a great answer.
Yes.
A human. It's bigger than a coyote.
There you go.
A human.
There you go.
There's humans that I could mess up. Not many.
Docile big animals.
I'd have to find the right one, but a human.
Capybara.
All right.
Yeah. Manatee? A manatee? I feel like I'd have a chance.
Yeah, but this is. Are you in the water? Because they'll splash you and kill you.
That's a great question.
That's how they attack. They splash you.
It's a very good
What is
question
it, a Pokemon?
by our man.
Crone or Cron DeMarco asks, "What's up, guys? Looking forward to another Rick and GC special. Thank you. We're in the midst of it right now. My question is for both of you, but off the back, one of NYric Rick's comments on Monday's show. Rick confidently said that Alex Pereira would destroy Jake Paul. But looking at the UFC light heavyweight rankings, is there anyone else in the division you think would beat Jake in a boxing match? If not, do you think this reflects badly on MMA striking, given that many UFC stars would have been doing stand-up for far longer than Jake, yet he's arguably been able to reach a better level, albeit in a specific discipline, in a fairly small amount of time? Thanks." So, are there any other light heavyweights that you think could beat Jake in a boxing match?
Yuri, very unlikely. Just with his style and everything.
I don't know.
I'm looking at the rankings right now. Magomed Ankalaev, like probably not. I would be curious to see it just because they would have like the size to go with him. I don't think anyone outside the top 10 would even be competitive with him.
Unless there's a guy who is a boxer that is getting into MMA. It comes down to the specific discipline. I think it's more a compliment to Alex Pereira that people are confident in that than a negative on MMA. If Jake Paul walked into MMA and tried to fight these guys, they'd tool bag him the same way as they would if they stepped into boxing. It is just a completely different thing. It's a different animal. It's a different sport. It's more a compliment to Alex Pereira's striking prowess and his actual boxing, right? Boxing for the sake of boxing, not just boxing for technique in MMA or even kickboxing. I say it reflects more positively on Alex than it does negatively on MMA fighters not being able to box Jake Paul. Like it or not, Jake Paul's a boxer at this point. Is he a great boxer? Is he going to be a championship boxer? I don't think so. But he's better than guys who train MMA at boxing because they're MMA fighters. They're not boxers.
Yeah, I'm essentially in agreement with you.
Do you agree? I don't even know if we confirm. You agree that Alex would beat Jake though?
Yes, I do. Okay. I actually talked about that with Joe before the show on Monday. I do. I mean, just his I know his kickboxing lineage. I know this would be actual boxing, but like just his skills and his power and his size, I do think that Alex Pereira would win.
Even when he was a kickboxer, he was primarily throwing hands. He was primarily a boxer, even when he was kickboxing. And so, yeah, I'm extremely confident that Alex would beat Jake, but not many others. What do you
think on it, Frankie?
Look, no one's going to do it.
Well, Tommy Fury already has.
I mean, is he really a real boxer?
I don't know what that means.
If he's not a real boxer, what does that mean for Jake Paul?
Look, we're moving on.
Frank is flustered. All right. Good job, Frank. Great question. Connor from Canada. Bill Simmons often talks about things he would do if he were the czar of the sports world. If you guys could change any three things at the snap of your finger in the MMA world, what would you change? Maybe this is a good segue to talk about the fact that the ABC no longer made 12-6 elbows illegal. And so I expect that, the rest of MMA will follow and we'll have 12-6 elbows be legal. That's one change I think people were clamoring for. GC, what else would you change in MMA?
Well, also they also changed the knee
the
rule.
Down opponent, yes.
Yeah, that we've seen cost so many fighters in the past. I mean, Arnold Allen just recently against Movsar Evloev, and then famously Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. I think it's going to be fascinating. I mean, they released this statement yesterday where they just completely abolished the removal of downward pointing elbow strike 12-6 as they call it as a foul, and then the kneeing and or kicking the head of a grounded opponent A fighter shall be considered grounded and may not be legally kneed or kicked to the head when any part of the body other than the hands or feet is in contact with the canvas. So now you can't just be getting controlled like that and just put your hand down to prevent that. So like we saw, like the Arnold Allen knee against Movsar Evloev just a few months ago would have been legal. So I think those two right off the rip are great changes to see. So I guess our Zardom starts fresh, trying to think of what we would want to change.
I have said this before. It would, and it's related to what we talked about earlier with the shorts. It would just be eliminating uniforms, bring the personality back and the pageantry of the entrances and the fighter outfits. I just want that back. I miss that. That is one of the best parts of MMA, and it is sorely missed.
And we see it with boxing too. And
yeah,
like
we see
the boxers deliver so much. Like there's so many sick boxing kits out there. I think we would see a lot of the same. And like I always go back. My favorite one ever is the John Jones with the gold Nike on it.
Oh yeah,
and like the Gatorade sponsor. It's just so clean, so sick to go with how good he was at that point in his career. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
He felt like the freaking man at that moment. Like he's walking in there with those sponsors, just like got the
bucks. Bones nose Nike shirt and everything.
Yeah,
like it's just like really felt like a legitimacy surrounding it. Yeah, I mean obviously, you know, the Chuck Liddell, the Iceman shorts, everything like that. Yeah. I like that. I think that one's good. Yeah, this is tough. A tough one to get put on the spot for. I'm trying to think of what I would change rule wise. Open scoring?
Yeah, potentially.
I'm down to see what open scoring would be like.
I'm not super opposed. I'm just not so sure it fixes all the problems, but I don't mind if we want to find out. But definitely, I think the 12-6 and the grounded opponent rules needed to be changed, and I love that they are. And for me, it's just like let's have some personality back in the fight kits and the walkouts. Christopher Walker. Lads, I'm going to my first UFC event this weekend, and what a card. I'll be there from the first fight of the night. Do you have any tips on what else I should do to make the most of the experience? Congratulations, Chris. You're going to have a great time.
It's going to be sick.
I love that you're going to be there from the first fight because that would have been one of my recommendations to all the fans that are attending. And what can you do to enhance your experience? Don't think so hard about what's not happening or what you're missing or on your phone and how did this guy score it and this, that, the other, what's everybody's reaction. Just enjoy the moment. Put your phone to the side if you can. I know that's a long night, but then again, it's the middle of the night. Hopefully, you know, nobody important in your life is like having an emergency or would need to contact you anyway. And so put the phone on silent, maybe glance at it just to make sure that nothing, you know, like that, an emergency is going on, but lock in. Just enjoy having been there in that moment. One day, if Tom Aspinall goes on to be a champion, you could be like, I was there when, you know, like I was there when Tom really cemented himself in front of this crowd, or Leon gets an amazing moment. I was there when. Just enjoy it, soak it in, and try to disconnect a little bit from all the thoughts that would normally cross your mind when you're at home, when you're looking at your phone and you're like, how did they score it? I got to see the Twitter reaction. Lock in.
100%, dude. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, you're probably not going to be able to get that much service anyway because you're going to be in a packed arena with 20,000 people around you. So, yeah, just throw the phone in the back pocket, throw it in a bag or whatever you're going to do, and just lock in, especially if you're with your boys. I mean, you got to pay attention, obviously, when the fights are happening because if you miss something, you're going to be sorely depressed about missing like a massive knockout or anything like that. Time the bathroom trips. Definitely do that. I missed a huge knockout at UFC Atlantic City because I was standing in line for the bathroom and you just hear the crowd erupt, go insane. And you just look at the guy next to you and you're just like, yeah, I definitely just missed something sick, man. That's unfortunate. So try and strategically plan the bathroom breaks because you're going to have to go. You're definitely going to have to go over the course of the 7 or 8 hours that you're in there. But yeah, man, just enjoy. Buy a poster. Hopefully they have the Artist Series poster on sale so you can just buy that. Buy something to remember it because it is your first one. I still got the cursed Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez poster hanging in my room. So yeah, and just enjoy, man. It's for this to be your first event. That is a special one. I still haven't been to a pay-per-view. Hopefully one day I get to go to one.
Yeah, he's going to have a great time, and that's a great tip. Okay, this one's not a question as much as a comment. Hugo says, hey, Ariel and crew, last weekend you being in the hoopla of Paul Perry Fight Week, you kept your composure well with all these influencer guys, the mumbling guy and the Chupapi Moneno, and not phase one bet. So shout out to Ariel for keeping his composure with that influencer dude and shutting him down at the press conference. Samuel,
Shut up.
this one is for Rick. I miss Rick's picks. GC might not even be aware of Rick's picks. That's a segment that way predates him. I miss Rick's picks, but I'm wondering if you could do a new segment. With the amount of newer fans, including myself, I thought it would be cool to take an older fighter and tell the fans what he was like in their prime. For example, are all aware of Chael, but what was he like in his prime? Was he feared, fearless, viewed as one of the best? What was his style like, his strengths and weaknesses, stuff like that? I like that idea. I don't know if that's a segment because I feel like you'd kind of like want to spin longer on that. You want to go in more in depth, but I don't hate that as maybe we figure out a way to do like a series like that or figure out how to make some content around that. I mean, I could think of a series, maybe Ariel talks to these guys, right? Like you sit down for an hour with Chael and you do the real, instead of talking to Chael about John Jones versus Tom Aspinall, you talk to Chael about like his career and really do like retrospective type stuff. I think that'd be cool. And Ariel would do a lot better at that than me. So maybe I'm not the one to do it. His ability to ground things in the history and his memory of the moments, I think would serve well to that. So maybe like we do a series with Ariel with that. I don't hate that idea. Rick's Picks was a segment where I used to just highlight like things going on in the world of MMA.
I've seen the Open with the garage and everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good stuff, man.
It was good. All right, Jesse Orozco. What are some new guests that you guys would love to have Ariel interview? And what does a UFC post Dana White look like? Wow, those questions are very different. Okay, guests that we want to see Ariel interview.
Yeah. That's tough.
I feel like it has to come outside of MMA. Because like if it's MMA, we've seen like there's nobody, right? Like he gets everybody. Like he's gonna get them when they're relevant and it's gonna happen. So it's almost like it has to be somebody outside of that.
Maynard.
Also, are we
James
talking like has he never interviewed them before?
See, that's the thing. I feel like it has to be a new, right? Because if it's just like, of course, I would love to see on Monday. I would love if Ariel comes back and it's like, yeah, I want to see him interview Conor. Like, yeah, duh. But like,
yeah,
who's a new name? Who's a fresh face and somebody who like he hasn't interviewed before?
In studio, Hunter Campbell.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one.
I would love to hear Hunter Campbell like really talk some shop.
Who would I want Ariel to interview? Who's like a fascinating person that I think
Aaron!
Jalen Brunson. I'd like to see Ariel sit down
Okay,
with
wow,
Jalen.
going all the way to the NBA.
Yeah. I think those two would have a good dynamic and a good chemistry, and I think there's enough like fandom that would shine through. I'd really like to see Ariel and Jalen do something. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
All right.
What does UFC post Dana White look like? He mentioned it. It would be the Hunter Campbell era. It would be Hunter running the show, and I think things would be drastically different. At this point, like Dana White is one of the biggest stars the UFC has, but it's less so about what he's doing behind the scenes, which don't get me wrong, like he's working behind the scenes certainly, but he's working with Hunter, and Hunter is doing a lot of that stuff. So it would be a different UFC. Like, is Hunter the guy who's going to be, rah-rah? Is Hunter the guy who's going to be getting people excited in that way? Or is it going to be more, low-key, for lack of a better term? So I don't know, but I imagine Hunter is going to be the guy who steps into those shoes and into that seat if it ever happens.
Yeah, I would really be curious to see what he would do with the company. I would be fascinated to know what changes he would make.
It's truly impossible to say because we don't know what the circumstances. If Dana White ever left the UFC, something would be happening, right? It would be a huge type of momentum shift in the sport of MMA. So it's hard to say what the future looks like because we'd have to know what the actual steps that got us to that are. Why is Dana White out? What is he going to do instead? If it's anything, who is stepping into the game? So it's impossible. It's impossible at this moment to speculate.
You think Dana takes the Bobby Arum route and just rides
Sticks
it till the
around
wheels
forever?
fall off? 91 years old, Dana White. I mean, he's been doing the fasting. He's been working out. He's been killing it in the gym.
I could see it. I could actually see it, but I just think he'll be so. he'll just have other focuses. He's already, I mean, we already see it with Power Slap, right? We already see it with all the other things he's got going on. He's got his eyes on other things, and I think eventually he will move on to them.
For sure.
Okay. This one's a long one. Joel D. Hey, GC Rick, I love listening to you both religiously. You are two perfect compliments to Ariel's skills and personality. Even Frank is a value add now that he's perfecting those sound clips. So I guess, Frank, you sucked before this.
You were useless before this, Frank.
The question is mostly for GC here, but I'd like Rick's input. As a gambler, I totally get that you jump on early lines as best you can. Sometimes there are crazy swings in the UFC. However, I have a question of ethics and sharing picks and kind of the point of sharing your picks. When the lines move a lot and you still share the prices that you got that are way better than the current lines, is it a bit disingenuous and besides the point of sharing picks? This obviously doesn't apply to the Parlay Pals as you do that on Wednesday before the fights. I'd like to hear your counterpoints thoughts, but currently my suggestion would be to only share picks that are very near current lines available. Cheers, Joel.
Yeah, I get what he says. And I mean, several people have pointed that out to me. My counterpoint would just be that, like, I'm just telling you the bets that I have for the card. And that's all it is. I'm not charging you any money. I'm not selling you anything. I've never taken a dime from anyone for any of these picks. I'm really just doing the betting more for fun. And these are my bets, and these are how I landed on them. And that's pretty much it.
I think your part. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. I was just going to say, I think your part about you not taking money for these picks is the most important part of this, right? You are not doing a disservice to anybody because nobody is paying you for this. You are volunteering this out of I was going to say the kindness of your heart, but it's not necessarily that, but just out of like goodwill. You were saying like, hey, if you guys like me and feel like I'm good at this, come tail along. If you don't. Like you're not offering anybody a service that they have to pay for, and you are showing I have skin in the game, which I think matters, right? If somebody sees a betting slip versus somebody doesn't see a betting slip and is just like, yeah, I really love this guy plus 200 and you never see it, then what's the point of that? So I think you're spot on. I think you're right on the money.
I'm also not going to lie, man. I mean, the public aspect of it has definitely dampered the enjoyment of it for sure. Because if you're sitting with your boys and you have Tom Aspinall, like took him at like minus 225 or something this week, and he balloons to however he is now, and you're just like, yeah, man, I got Tom Aspinall minus 225 this week. They're all like, oh, nice, dude, that's sick. Post it online. Everyone's just like, fake line, bullshit. Why would you share this with us? This is such a waste of time. You're such a fake. You're such a fraud. Like everyone
Who the fuck is we?
Exactly. Everyone in this space like seems to just have this horrible toxicity around them, and it's this competitive, I'm better than you and this and that. And like, if you have been paying close attention, like I have waned away from the betting drastically, especially on social media. Now I just kind of, here's my bets, move on with my life. Don't care how much play gets on Twitter on all of that. And yeah, man, it is a taxing endeavor. It takes a long time to research these cards and place these bets and do everything like that. And yeah, it really doesn't feel worth it most of the time. I would way rather just put the bets in privately, enjoy the fights, and if I lose, it's to myself. If I win, it's to myself. And yeah, I think it's much more enjoyable just doing it with friends.
For what it's worth, I think you're great at this, and I think there's a value that you're doing. You're giving out a lot of value for free.
I appreciate it.
People should appreciate it rather than criticize it. Again,
you
don't have to pay. You don't have to pay.
Honestly, I really do mean it's all good if they do. It's all good if they don't. I really don't care.
Max83. Hello, guys. Referring to my question 2 weeks ago regarding House of the Dragon, you clearly don't watch this show. So I wanted to know which are your favorite TV shows of all time. So this is important. This is an important one because we're talking Team Green and Team Black. Somebody asked a question about that on the nose, and I'm like, I don't know what that's about. Frank doesn't know what it's about. GC doesn't know what it's about. GC, the only one who watches this show.
Oh, you do watch it?
So I do not actively watch it. I watched the first season, which came out, man, 2 years ago. Yeah. So like I have obviously just forgotten everything. Like if I were to watch season 2, I would need to watch like an extensive recap to get me to that point.
You should just watch the recap, period.
Yeah, Frank loves watching TV shows where like all he does is just watch like, how long was the Breaking Bad one where it was all 6 seasons?
It was a good 3 hours, and man, what a roller coaster.
You'd rather watch a 3-hour recap than like spend the time to watch.
Got all the
entirety
notes,
of the
got
show.
all the great scenes. Yeah.
This reminds me of people who
Pizza
watch
on the roof. Damn.
who watch VOD replays of people like streaming games but don't play the game or don't watch them play the game. Like there's something that's disconnected from my enjoyment that I can't identify with those people, but I know that they're out there. So I'm not sure what the compulsion is there, but Frankie's got it. But yes, none of us are currently watching then, safe to say, GC? You're not watching it now.
I will watch eventually, but no, I'm not watching right now. And did he ask what our favorite TV shows were?
Yes, what our favorite TV show of all time is.
Oh, all time.
Mine is fairly cliche, but Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time. Love The Sopranos. Love The Wire. Love Peaky Blinders. That's a little bit more of a sneakier one. Absolutely loved Peaky Blinders. One of my favorite shows ever. Cillian Murphy, shout out. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Great show. Nice animated series. That's a nice clean top 5
I feel
for
like
me.
you're
I
listing
think that's what I'll go.
every
top
show.
5.
No, he's just giving a top
shows.
5.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
see, it's,
top
it's
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yep, we're good.
Yeah.
I love
five,
all-
5 shows, top 5.
I love all the ones GC listed, except above all those is the challenge. But then after that, all
Shout out
those
to
shows
The
that he
Challenge.
listed are great.
Hot take. Seasons 1 through 6 of Game of Thrones were pretty good. But
Yes, Game of Thrones was a fantastic television series. The ending ruined it for me, though. I can't put it
Curb
in my
Your
top 5 because of
Enthusiasm.
the ending.
Oh, Curb
The
is
goat.
great.
Great show. Yes.
And then recently, like, because I don't watch a lot of current TV or actually any current TV, but I did watch Fallout, and I thought I was pleasantly surprised. I will not stop talking about it till everybody in this control room has watched it. So look at me go. So Fallout, first episode.
Did you play the game? Did you enjoy the game?
I've played the third one, New Vegas, and the 2 original ones, but those are not necessary. That's why I was skeptical of the show. I was like, there's so much nuance in the game. Like, is it not going to translate well? But they did such a good job with doing that. It's like you don't have to have played the game, and they're going to get you right into the universe, the politics, all of it. It's chef's kiss.
Wow. Good endorsement there for Fallout. Okay. Gabriel Cedeno. Sorry. What's up, GC and Rick? Question for you guys. Best piece of advice you guys have ever received and from who? A fan in Bakersfield, California, Gabriel. What's the best advice you ever got?
Yeah, this is a tough question. Can you think of something right off rip?
Just show up. Like, you can make excuses for... You can make it if you don't want to be there. There's a very easy way for you to get out of anything. But one of the things that I've done throughout my career and made sure to do is just show up. Like, if there is something that needs to be done, I'll be there. And I forget who gave me that advice. Somebody early in my career gave me that advice, but it has stuck with me, and I always show up. That is what I'm known for, being reliable in that sense. If there's something to be done, I will show up. The best thing I've been thinking about lately in terms of that, maybe not advice I've received, but I think about is like, do it now. Don't wait. It's similar to just show up, but it's like, do it now. If there's something that you need to tackle, if the moment you start putting it in that bucket of putting it off, it's not going to get addressed, or it'll get addressed at the wrong time, or you're going to quote unquote wait for the right time, the quote unquote right time, and there's never going to be the right time. If there's something for you to do it now. Don't procrastinate. Get it done and knock it off your list, and then never think about it again.
I like that. Those are great, especially
Those
like
are
in
actually
terms of
now
career.
my favorite.
In terms
There
of
you go,
career
I did the
orientation,
same.
yeah, like progress over perfection is like another one similar to that. That like you just have to do it. You can't like wait for the perfect circumstances. You just have to knock it out. In terms of a broader spectrum of life, just it's still the classic cliche. Time flies. It really just does go by so fast, and you just got to be grateful for every moment. Health is wealth. Another just real cliche one that is actually so true. Anytime you have any health issue, you discover how important health is. So yeah, just being grateful, man.
Frankie, anything?
Do I strike you as the kind of guy that has been told or has taken advantage of good advice?
No, you don't.
All right.
I feel like you've been
Good point.
told good advice, but you didn't take it.
In one
that-
ear,
that
out
might be
the
right.
other.
Yeah.
Maybe that's advice to let things go in one.
For
ear and not
instance,
the
I've
other.
been told if you're on time, you're late. So be 15 minutes early. I'm like, I don't understand this stuff.
Yeah, the math on that's
But
hard.
if you're 15 minutes late, Frank will have a meltdown.
Yeah, I mean, clearly.
This is from Who Me 3. Question for GC: with the astonishing
me?
success of the
Who me?
groundbreaking and thought-provoking
Who me?
cinema that is Fight Feast, would you ever consider a longer format YouTube video, perhaps including fighters? They mentioned Matt Favola, Juliana Pena, Billy Q. These, I guess, are like specific ones that they'd like to see. All love. Hashtag they use the hashtag on Substack. Hashtag Gorgonzola steak. I don't know if that's like a slight. I don't know if that's like.
Ugh.
No. Shout out to the Gorgonzola steaks. Gotta love them. Hopefully, we'll never encounter one for the rest of my days. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of on a Fight Feast break right now, which has been a bit of a disappointment. Obviously, I'm not in New York right now. Got to have Frankie with me to do it. So, I went and got a Denver omelet. I'm going to do a full fry up this weekend, but it's sort of something that I need more than just me. So yeah, I've been missing it. Looking forward to getting back up in the New York area and restarting Fight Feast. We got 10 episodes in, many more to come. And yeah, actually, I would be down for YouTube. I feel like there could be a greater appreciation for the 16:9 rather than just the social format. I also feel like it would give it more time to marinate as well. You could post it earlier on in the week. And yeah, I feel like there's still a lot of potential there, and I would love to do it with a guest. Got a couple ideas in mind. Have been approached by a couple of significant guests about joining the program. That's just hopefully they come to fruition, and this is a tease and not me just talking out of my ass. Maybe a collab or two in the future, but we will see. But yes, I appreciate the love for the cinematic, critically acclaimed Fight Feast. I cannot wait to restart them.
I love that. That's very exciting. I would ask Frank, but I don't care. Shane Show, longtime listener, first-time commenter. Analogy for you. If fighting is basketball, shooting is a very important part of basketball. However, it is not everything. What Jake Paul is doing is challenging professional fighters to one aspect of the fight game. I am sure a YouTuber who focuses only on three-point shooting could beat Anthony Edwards in a three-point shooting contest, but that does not mean he's a better fighter. I am very sick of people considering Jake Paul to be a good fighter. He is a good boxer. You guys are awesome. I mean, I guess I understand this distinction, but like a boxer is a fighter. It's like, I don't know if
a boxer is a fighter, but like a shooter is also a hooper, right?
Yeah, a shooter is a basketball player. Although I guess he's arguing, right? Like if you got some goofy, unathletic dude who just focused on shooting three-pointers and never ever hooped, would they be a hooper? Are they a hooper? If they can make threes at that level, then they're a hooper. Yeah, that's my argument.
You're a hooper, right? Yeah. Like if you get out there and you just plant in the corner and you just spray, you're shit on defense and like you can't drive at all and you can't do anything but just shoot threes. But if you hit 6 threes, then you obviously hope your team win. So
I mean, you're just talking about Steve Novak right now. Like it's just Steve Novak.
You're a hooper. I mean, Jake Paul, like he is a boxer, and like if you can box, then are you not fighting?
Yeah. I agree.
You can at least do one realm of it.
I'm okay. Look, if you want to say he's a boxer and don't want to call him a fighter, cool. That's fine by me.
Honestly, man, it feels like semantics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care.
Okay. Parker Turk, the boys. With Leon saying there are no big fights at welterweight after Bilal, my question is, what do you think should be the requirements to go for double champ? How many defenses does a champion need before they can be seen as deserving, quote unquote, of claiming 3 belts? Thanks, boys. Do you think it's like a number of fights thing? Is that how you do it?
I feel like it's circumstantial. Number of fights could play into it. I think it's how the division that they're going up to or going down to is playing out. I think their popularity matters.
I think their popularity matters. I think do they have people lined up to fight them? Right? Like, what does the rest of the division look like? Matters.
It feels like you got to have at least 3, right?
I think Alex Pereira is going to go quick. I don't think you need 3.
Yeah, I guess that's there. I guess that's the popularity thing coming into play. Like if you are just this superstar.
It matters. It matters who you are. It matters what the rest of your division looks like. It matters what the champion and the division up looks like. Like, would I want to see Leon jump up right away? Nah. Like that doesn't.
All right.
Doesn't really interest
Leon
me.
wins. Leon wins. Islam fights Arman and beats him. Is Islam now at a point where he can start being like, let's get this.
I've been on
welterweight
team
double champ status.
Islam should be allowed just on the basis of giving Alex 2 shots at it. He should be returned a receipt on that. Is my
Islam's
stance.
also a massive star, bro. He is,
Massive star.
he is.
Many people have said who have trained and who are welterweights. Kevin Holland's coming to mind because it was very recently. This guy's the 70-pound champ if he wants. People have been saying that for a while. And so I want to see it. I'm interested in it. And I do think he did a real solid to the UFC with the 2 Alex Volkanovski fights. I'm good if he gets his shot at it. I think he would be more, quote unquote, deserving of it than Leon would. But I would also just rather see that fight.
Yeah, be a great one.
But I think it's, to your point, it's all circumstantial. It's not, there's no like, if you get 3, you should be allowed. It's really just like, what's the situation? If John Jones wants to fight Alex Pereira and he's only got 2, guess what? John Jones and Alex Pereira should happen. Taco enthusiast, regular, long time. GC, big ATL sports fan over here. Curious who is on your Mount Rushmore of Atlanta athletes. Note, I'm not a Dogs fan and don't consider them to be a part of Atlanta sports, but you do as you please. So his would be... What were you going to say?
I was going to say I don't either. I mean, it's the University of Georgia. It is just a school that happens to be in Georgia. I don't include, like, it is not Falcons, Braves, Hawks.
Got it.
Like Georgia, you don't include them in there.
His is Prime, which would be Deion Sanders, Hank Aaron, Mike Vick, Matty Ice, and honorable mention for Dominique Wilkins. What does yours look like?
What was the first one on there?
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders, Mike Vick, Matty Ice,
and Hank Aaron.
Okay. 3 Falcons, 2 quarterbacks within the last 2 decades. Feels kind of crazy. Hank Aaron has to be on there.
Dominique getting the honorable mention, not even making it.
I think you would put Dominique on there. He gave us some of the Hawks. You know, the Hawks are just not a good franchise. If I'm being totally honest. If I'm a real one, we're considering putting Ilya Kovalchuk on there.
Yeah.
Shout out. I think 06, 3 seed, the best year in Thrasher's history. No, Hank Aaron is you gotta have Hank Aaron on
absolutely.
there. That is just like the biggest no brainer. I actually think you are putting. I think you're putting Chipper Jones on there as well. Like he is a legend to this city, and was a part of some fantastic Braves teams. Do you put one of those pitchers on there as well? But now we're getting into too many Braves territories. Man, Matty Ice is just like, God, I want to put him on there bad. If he had gotten that Super Bowl, it'd be such a no-brainer. I almost feel like I would lean Julio over Matty Ice, but I'm just like, Julio was my favorite athlete for a hot minute. I like the Mike Vick one, so I'm going Hank Aaron, Dominique Wilkins, Mike Vick right now. Oh man. And then I think I would go Chipper Jones 4. Chipper Jones, Mike Vick, Hank Aaron, Dominique Wilkins.
And then Trae Young like right below.
Yeah. The Hawks are they're just tough, man, because like they're just not a good franchise. They're just not. They're the Spurs of just making the playoffs. If you understand what I'm saying. Consistent,
that's pretty good.
Always there, make the playoffs, ain't going far.
Yeah.
Couple Eastern Conference. Us making the Eastern Conference Finals is like the equivalent of us winning the finals.
That used to be the Wizards for a while in like the early to mid 2000s. It was like the Gilbert Arenas Wizards. It would be like we're there and we're decent at basketball, but we're just never gonna get anywhere after that. He also asked, Taco Enthusiast also asked, Rick, what about your New York Mount Rushmore? I feel like this one's tough because I feel like there's a lot of names on it. Derek Jeter is
nine pro teams.
Derek Jeter's a guarantee. Derek Jeter's
yes, of course.
The most obvious, can't be argued choice. Then I feel like it kind of gets dicey because it depends on like, are you doing it for like the love of New York or are you doing it for the player, right? As an example, Wayne Gretzky would likely be on there.
I was gonna say,
but Messier might be
I feel like you go Messier.
the New York person. So if you're doing that kind of version, right? Like who means the most to the city? It's gonna be Jeter, Ewing, Messier, Manning. Those are your four guys.
I was just about to say. I was gonna say, you putting Namath or you putting Manning on there?
I feel like it's got to be Eli.
The two bowls, beating Brady in both of them. I feel like it's got to be. I like that list.
But then you have a guy like a Wayne Gretzky or a Lawrence Taylor who are not on there that you kind of like, holy.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor.
You know what I mean?
Lawrence Taylor. That's tough, man. I mean, this is something that you could go on the street and get a million different answers. Because like
the only one I'm 1,000% sure is Derek Jeter. If Derek Jeter is not on your New York Mount Rushmore, like you just did it wrong. There's just not a chance you did it correctly.
Yeah, I'm with you. Shout out to Jeter, man.
It's like DiMaggio, like you could go 10 Yankees deep.
God,
you know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy. All right. Chase Keller. What's up, GC and Rick? GC, I heard you would play college football 25 eventually. Would you want to create an online dynasty league for yourself and fans of the MMA Hour? They do not allow cross-platform on dynasty mode. I have a PS5. I think it'd be a lot of fun for everyone. So are you starting this?
I am certain that this would be a lot of fun. Am I going to put the effort into this? Absolutely not.
And he said it's not cross-platform?
It's not. He said
not cross-platform. So we're forcing me to buy a PS5 and then everything like that. I just when it comes out for the Switch, I'll create an online dynasty.
All right, we got a related Mount Rushmore question from Ian. Hey, GC and Rick, when discussing the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, the criteria is usually who drew the most money, who were the biggest stars. So you got guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, Hogan, and John Cena. My question is using that criteria, like the stars.
Oh, okay.
Who would you have on the Mount Rushmore of MMA? I think that's easy then, right?
I feel like we're framing this towards like Conor McGregor's
Conor,
obvious.
Ronda. John, Connor, Ronda, John, GSP.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be some people's Mount Rushmore.
Hell,
just depending
if
on
that's the criteria, I'm putting Dana White on
argument. Yeah, game changer, absolute game changer.
But I mean, I feel like Connor Ronda is auto.
Rushmores.
Connor Ronda is auto. Then it becomes like John, GSP, Anderson Silva, kinda. But yeah,
Mount Rushmores are tough, man.
Four is always hard. Bonus question: with it being UFC 304 week, who is on your Mount Rushmore? What is on your Mount Rushmore of British food?
Oh, this is actually a great question. Are we just like this is tough because like are we talking about full dishes or selected food?
I think go either way. Go however you want with it.
Man, the full English is great. Like the full English breakfast is actually great. Still haven't fully warmed up the beans with breakfast that bleeds into the eggs and everything else. But I'm getting there. Just the texture of beans at like 7:30 in the morning will always throw me off. Fish and chips, like if we're just gonna come out and say it, it's a fantastic dish. Like you're getting fried fish, fried chips. It's just fantastic. A beef pie, like a pie stuffed with all sorts of meats and whatnot is also fantastic. Love a good cuppa. I mean, right here, love a nice cuppa. I don't know if that counts as a dish or a food, but that's good. What do you think, Frank? You know British cuisine.
Honestly, meat pies. Yeah, those are there.
Yeah. Meat pies are great, man.
Pasties. Yeah, those are good. Those are like
pasties are good.
Almost like a hot pocket, but of a British affair.
Oh, wow, I don't think I've ever had one of those. That sounds fantastic.
Pasties.
And then bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash are great. Just got to throw it out there. Maltesers are getting on there. That's one of the best candies I've ever had. Maltesers are really fantastic. Oh, I love Maltesers, dude. It's what Whoppers should have been.
It's just a Whopper.
No, God, no. Whoppers are ass. Whoppers are like
suck.
Cardboard BS. Maltesers are almost like Kit Kat bites or something. Like the texture is better, the flavor is better. Maltesers are what Whoppers could never even attempt to dream. I was blown away with Maltesers. I love them. Maltesers are going on my list. I'm going a full English a great cuppa that I made with milk and maybe a bit of honey in there as well. Like I'm talking a nice, beautiful caramel color. Some fish and chips, crispy.
Mushy peas or no mushy peas with the fish and
No,
chips?
no, no. Out on the mushy peas. I will Americanize it a bit. I don't know if it's a British thing. I'm throwing hot sauce on there. Some Tabasco goes perfectly, like the vinegary type deal with that. And then I'm going Maltesers. There's my 4.
I like it. Penny, shout out to Penny, a longtime fan. This is a very long question. I'm gonna skip it. I'm just giving you a shout out. I would say ask it again. This one's extremely long and complicated and probably needs some Ariel. Ask it another time. Matt, Chiwiwis, hi Rick and GC. With Andy Foster assisting in the removal of the 12-6 elbow rule, do you foresee any changes to any fighters' records, i.e. John Jones, and do you expect it to be used more now? They won't be changing John Jones' record, I don't imagine, because at the time that the strikes happened, it was illegal. That I know John Jones and Dana White have talked about that before. I just can't see a world. It doesn't make any sense. When it happened, it was illegal. Expect it to be used more now. Yeah, hell yeah. We just saw a fight 2 weeks ago. I forget. It was the who did Cody Brundage fight? Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
Yeah,
and he landed 12-6 elbows, and it ended with a no contest. I forget how that one went.
Yeah, no contest. Bro's got to be sick right now seeing that happen.
Yeah,
just
it's
weeks
just
afterward.
We will see a huge change in terms of that, right? Defensively, I think more so than offensively. But I mean, offensively, like John was using it. I could see a lot of fighters using it. It will come into play a lot more now. I think the grounded rule is going to be a lot more influential because, as we've seen, right, you could throw an 11-5 elbow. You don't need to throw a 12-6. It was just more fighters had to think about it and avoid that. But I expect we'll see a lot of it now that it's changed. Logan McFatridge. GC, what first got you into the gambling world? My first introduction was UFC 249 when I was bored out of my mind with nothing to do during COVID and decided to play some bets. Gaethje versus Ferguson and Ngannou versus Rosenstruik ultimately made me a UFC fan for life.
Mine was not UFC. Mine was like 2013, 2014.
Oh, really?
Just like
I thought you would have been earlier than that. Wow. I'm surprised to hear that. You're very knowledgeable and experienced.
Oh, I was only like I was only like 20. It would be a little bit problematic if I had gotten in.
Yeah, I guess
earlier.
That's true.
just NFL games, throwing $5, $2 on. I started out with the ridiculous parlays that I see everyone doing now, like the big money parlays, and then like now I've gotten much more on the singles train. But yeah, like one of my friends just mentioned it. That you could just go online and do it, and there was no minimums or anything like that. And I was just like, "Yeah, let's give this a try," and haven't looked back since. I am happy to say though, like I've always gambled responsibly, and I've never had any like issues or anything like that, and really just do it for more of the fun of it. If you really want to know what it got me into it, like what really got me into it is it makes any game more interesting. It doesn't matter how much money you have on it. It's just going to make it more interesting. B, being with your boys and y'all are all riding a bet together is some of the most fun that you can have, whether you win or lose the bet. Like
Who the fuck is we?
It is just so much fun to be able to do that. Like there's nothing better than like, oh man, just like getting together with your boys, going to a pub at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, drinking Guinnesses for breakfast and betting on Premier League, and y'all are all riding it together. And you take that into college football and then UFC, and then you ride it into the NFL on Sunday. And it's just, it's just like the most fun you can have. That is what I like most about gambling, is doing it with friends. It's like a fun activity for me.
Love that. Logan also asked, NYric, what got you into the position you are currently in? What did your career path look like that ultimately led you to MMA fighting? And what did your initial jobs look like? I aspire to do something in relation to what you do. As always, you guys are the best. Thanks for putting on a show without Ariel. I'm not going to rehash the whole story because come end of this year, I'm sure Ariel will read that again on air, and then we'll go through it at that time. But I initially got my start because I emailed Ariel and just said, hey, I'll do anything that it takes to work with you. And Vox was starting up. Vox had just acquired the rights to the show from AOL. They needed staff. I was available. I just showed up, as I said earlier with my advice, just showing up. And I worked hard and made myself indispensable. carried that over. I was doing public relations at the time. What I realized early is that I want to work with people that I want to work with, Ariel being the main participant of that, but everybody in this control room and everybody I've worked with on these shows, these are the people that I want to work with. And staying true to that and trying to make sure that you work with people you enjoy working with as opposed to the opposite is what has served me well in my career. And so I kind of continued that path and found my way to ESPN, then back to Vox. And so that's the short version of it. But focus on working hard and making sure that you surround yourself with people who also work hard and that you want to work with, and you'll be in a good spot. Jimmy. Hey, Ariel and Majestic Crew. Curious, how do you keep tabs on the most frequented guests? And if so, please share the top 5 most appearing guests. So we don't, but we should. That's a really good idea.
I'd love to know the statistics behind it.
I would love to pay somebody
Chael.
to go. Yeah,
Arnold
so
Allen.
they say my guess would be Chael, Eddie Hearn, Rampage, Scott Coker, and maybe Kayla Harrison. I don't know, but would love to hear the actual numbers you guys rock. We should do this. I want to pay somebody on Fiverr to just go back and make a spreadsheet of this, because I feel like it would be valuable to know.
Eddie Hearn's the one that immediately comes
you
to
guys
mind.
are not. You guys are too new because like Eddie Hearn's recently, Eddie Hearn's recently, but like we used to have Mighty Mouse and Tyron Woodley and Rampage and Chael so many times during that era. So
Mike Perry,
quite frequent. Okay, trying to go faster here. Anthony Johnson really enjoyed the Bud Crawford interview. He says that Ariel missed an opportunity to mention that Crawford was... Wait. Well, it was a great interview. I can't believe you missed the chance to ask him about being mentioned in the biggest beef in 20 years. So I guess Terrence Crawford was mentioned. I know that you've waved the flag for Team Jersey, but I need to know how and why this was missed. Considering Euphoria is a new classic and arguably best response of all songs between both men, I feel it was a missed opportunity. So AJ, aka Big Herb, he says, love from Luton Town. Anthony Johnson is taking issue with Ariel not mentioning that to Bud or not asking Bud about it. Bunyak does a really good statistical breakdown of the KOs with the new gloves. Basically, it amounts to there have been 84 fights in the new gloves, 20 KOs, TKOs, a ratio of 4.2 fights per KO, not counting the doctor stoppage on the Dober cut. In the UFC events prior, there was a ratio of 3.17 fights to KO. Is this significant? I don't think it's significant, but we still need more data. Thank you for tracking that, and keep us posted on how that goes. But I'm not a believer in the gloves are impacting knockouts.
Yeah, that's. I feel like we need a lot more time on that.
Yeah.
In reference to the Kendrick Drake beef and asking Terrence Crawford in Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar, he said he's Terrence Thornton, I'm Terrence Crawford. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feet.
Yeah.
Big miss by old age.
Joshua Packham. Boys, I don't think it's possible to be a bigger MMA D rider and fan of the sport than me. Viva la Parlay pals. And simple question. Mysterious Frank, Helwani, GC, and NYric in a free-for-all in the octagon. Who wins? So we're just all stuck in an octagon. Who's coming out alive?
Well, hopefully all of us are coming out alive.
Yeah. To the death.
No, this is to the death.
To the death.
I don't know. I feel like Frank would pull something sneaky.
Yeah, I think you guys are underestimating. So be prepared. Well, don't be prepared. Continue to underestimate me.
If it's one-on-one tournament style, I don't know, but yeah, all four-way free-for-all. I feel like someone's getting teamed up on. Just I don't know who, but someone's getting teamed
somebody's
up
just
on.
The short man and just getting picked off.
Yeah, I feel like it just naturally will just somehow happen. Someone gets teamed up on, you pick it off, and then you go from there.
I honestly feel like the three of us might take out old H first, and then settle the score between them. You know,
if that's what you want to do,
Spider-Man
Frank,
meme where we're all pointing at each other like, "Who's next?"
It's all about survival. If that's what you want to do, then I'll go ahead and take that opportunity, get us down to 3, and then go from there to try and come out victorious.
Further, who was the jabber out of the 4? And who was the wrestler?
Ariel's going to do the boxing for sure.
Who goes for the takedown?
I can't wrestle, but I would definitely be trying to take you guys down. I'll tell you that. I have no idea about wrestling, but
I think I'd do the old flying knee.
Yeah, see, you'd get knocked out in a second.
All right.
Yeah, stop, Frank. Frank doing a flying knee, please.
I'm telling you, I would do a flying knee. So every time I hop, you're like, oh, here it comes. But is it?
Okay, we got a few suggestions here. Kevin Jackson says, quick one for Frank. Can we introduce the Arnold Allen Ooh Fancy to the soundboard? I feel like it got overlooked during the interview the other day and had me cracking up. So that's a suggestion.
Consider it done.
I love it. Carly, hello, Rick, GC, and crew. First time asking a question here, and it's a production one. Is there any reason why there's not a little face cam of the interviewee while showing clips so we can see their reaction? Big thanks to all the MMA Hour for making my weeks better. Hoping one day we'll get Rick and GC spinoff on Fridays. So Carly wants to see, well, this show on Fridays, but also like when we play a full screen to have a little box of the fighter reaction.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess the only thing with that is that a lot of the times we're not showing it to the fighter.
Yeah.
Like if they don't need to see it, like we don't want to mess up the flow of the interview by just like showing random pictures or videos or whatever like that. Like when I get what she's saying, like that isn't a bad idea for when we specifically are like showing them something. That is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a technical limitation as well. Like there's only so many variations of video inputs and outputs that we can show at a given time, and we have our go-tos, and it's hard to just adapt to all of these eventualities. But maybe if they want to help out in the technological field.
I was literally going to say this is the first time Frank's given a serious answer, and then he just ruined it with that stupid shit at the end.
Just gotta throw shade. Gotta throw shade.
I was like, yeah, this is great. Frank's giving like this first serious answer in show history from him, and then he just, if you want to help out. Okay.
Yeah, but you get back here and do it.
Kai, question for NYric Rick. As a reality TV connoisseur, are you familiar with the Traders? The last season had many Survivor Challenge alumni and even had Bronze Bomber himself, Deontay Wilder. Not only did I see it, I loved it. The Traders is a fantastic format for a show. Shout out to CT and Trishelle, two Challenge veterans who won Trader Season 2. The best. I mean, great show, and I love the challenge people on it. Sam asks, if bullets bounce off Superman's chest, why does he duck when a gun is thrown at him? Does Superman duck if a gun's thrown at him?
Yeah, actually, I'm not aware enough of Superman lore. I actually don't think I've ever even seen like a Superman movie.
What?
Don't
Yeah.
hey, look, they're snoozers.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Absolute snoozers.
No,
What's
the
the
first
best
Richard
Superman
Donner movies are incredible. What are you talking about?
Let's take a peek at old Richard D.
You need
Richard,
to.
you mean Reeves?
No, that's the star, Christopher Reeves. You need to go back and go see the original Superman movies. Now the time is going to scare you.
Yeah, I was going to say, when did these come out?
What
The
year was
70s?
it?
What is the year? What's the year of the first one?
Let's see. Superman 1978.
It's not that bad.
No, for GC that is.
Yeah.
GC sees anything with a 7 in it.
Yeah,
I don't know if
about
we're
that.
GC, give us an update.
don't know
You
about
still
this.
haven't watched the 1979 Alien.
No, that was 79.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it definitely could have been in the 80s. Can we just stop the show so you can go watch it? So I know you have the
But
time.
it was 1 year short. Frank, I have told you this a million times, man. You love giving out movie recommendations. You hate taking them. Your expectations need to be tamped
Look,
down.
if it was
a little
worth
bit.
watching, I would have already known about it.
There it is. There it is.
Superman the original is a very good movie. It's not
I don't know about that.
it's not superhero-y like we expect
Coming
from
from
Marvel.
Wizard of Oz being your
but it's
favorite
very good.
movie,
Yeah, a classic, like stone cold, amazing, incredible film.
I'm watching the preview right now for Superman 1978. 2
Okay.
hours and 23 minutes of this.
Yeah. Christopher Reeves in an incredible performance.
incredibly
Margot
snoozy.
Kidder, I think was Lois's name. Shout out to everybody in that movie. Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. I mean,
Margot
Gene
Kidder,
Hackman,
wow,
baby.
you know this whole
Kevin
thing.
Spacey
You know
is
this whole
Lex
thing.
Luthor.
These are very close to my heart. When I was a kid, these are what my dad showed me, and I was
So there's some nostalgia in there. You have to.
Oh,
admit
there's
that.
definitely
They're not
nostalgia.
objectively good.
what?
Come
No, these are
on.
like revered films. These are like
Revered by what? Like at the bingo club? Come on, man. They're not revered.
This is from the You Need to Expand Your Horizons Aliens in 1979, and then I recommend like a movie that everybody loves, and you're like, it's old.
The
Old
good, the
people
bad,
like this.
the ugly, Alien, The Thing. Nobody is like, oh, well, don't forget Superman.
Frank has been harping
Actually, yes.
on Alien for
I mean, it's a great
so
film.
long
I mean,
now. He's been harping on it
I
for
just watched
God,
it again
forever.
3 days ago.
All right,
How many
moving
times have
on.
you seen it?
How many times?
Oh, probably 6.
I feel like that's coming up short on how many times.
I mean,
It's a pretty great
literally
film.
just watched it for the first time in like the last 10 years.
Jamal 2020 asks, "What's up? Shout out to the Parlay Pals. My question is, am I the asshole? When I go out to a restaurant with my girlfriend, I would say that more than half of the time we both choose the same thing on the menu. She tells me that she wants to get something else that we can split our meals, but I don't want to change my choice because I wanted to order what I wanted. Should I change my menu choice so that my girlfriend and I could share 2 different meals? Why doesn't she change hers? If she wants something else, change hers.
1000%. If she wants to do the halvesies move, yes, she should change hers. It's a risk reward scale, you know. Like it's just like if she chooses something good and you end up getting half and half of what you ordered, then it's a brilliant thing. But if she just orders something that's just you got no interest in, then it's tough. It's got to be something you almost have to attack the menu together and decide on 2 things and split it, rather than hoping that you're each going with your own interests is going to end up with a good halvesies meal.
I'm somebody who orders whatever they want, but I'll share. Like if my wife wants to share, I'll share. If it's gonna be like we're splitting it, I'll just be like, we'll get 2 of them. Just eat. If you want some of this and I'm going to want my meal, let's just get 2 of them. Just make it work for everybody. But make her order the new thing if that's what you want. Veronica Vaughn asked a question about horror movies. I don't know if you guys enter horror. They say they didn't like Long Legs, but what's a good recommendation? If you didn't like Long Legs, then we're not gonna vibe because I love Long Legs. Nick the Dane. Gang, just watched Back to the Future Part 3 the other day with my son. Hadn't seen it around 25 years maybe. Ending got me teared up. Much better movie than I remember. What are some other movies you have enjoyed as a fully matured adult than you did when you were younger? Tons of choices, but I'll start. Good Will Hunting. And one I know Frank will agree on, Jaws 4, The Revenge. So what are some movies that you didn't appreciate until later in life?
Good Will Hunting is an unbelievable film.
Yeah, but see, I feel with you didn't see them you know what I mean? Like, you don't have the experience. No. You're seeing them for the first time as an adult. Is there anything you saw as a kid that you saw again and you were like, oh, this is actually better?
No, I can't think of anything right off rip.
I see.
I need to see Back to the Future.
Oh, I know.
3.
I have an answer.
No, you don't. You're at a good
Twister.
point.
I just watched Twister.
Not
recently,
bad, right?
And it was.
But you hated it as a kid. And
I'm gonna go see Twisters, the new one, very soon.
For me, it was all the Indiana Jones movies. I really enjoyed them as a kid, but I couldn't appreciate them fully. I've since watched many of them and appreciate them a lot more.
For me,
incredible performance by Harrison Ford.
Hunt for the Red October. So I watched as a kid. I'm like, this is too heady. I don't understand. Watched it as an adult. I'm like, damn, what a classic.
I'm not gonna lie, honestly, if I didn't like it when I was younger, I probably just haven't rewatched it as an adult.
Yeah. I don't have a lot because I don't do that. If I didn't enjoy it, I probably won't revisit. But there's some that I'm like, I got an additional appreciation that I already liked, but now I can like it more.
You know,
okay.
Similar to this, there was a movie that I tried to watch as a kid that like scared the shit out of me, and I wrote it off. It was called Candyman. Watch it as an adult, and I'm like, little mysterious Frank, what an idiot. This is such a great movie. There's nothing to be scared of. Yeah, so that's those movies where like you get to have a new experience with it. Because I mean, it is pretty creepy. To like,
respect the Candyman. Shout out
7-year-old. Yeah.
Christopher De Santiago. Hi, Ariel. There are now 10 fighters with custom shorts in the UFC, with Leon Edwards and Paddy Pimblett getting new trunks for 304. Looking at the UFC's biggest stars today, who do you think is due a pair? I feel like this is a GC special. Who do we want to see with the customs?
I feel like when John Jones comes back, he's gonna get some customs.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I feel like Islam could get some customs, but I honestly feel like he just doesn't care enough to get them.
No, he did have, didn't he? Didn't he just get customs for 302, but they were just like boring customs? Unless I'm mistaken. I think he had just like.
So.
Oh, really? I thought that was it. You would know better than me, so maybe I'm off the reservation there.
I don't think so. Yeah, who else would be good? I feel like when Izzy comes back, he's gonna have some custom shorts. I feel like that's a no-brainer. Izzy, I guess you got to get champ status, but Yuri could maybe get some cool ones. I mean, we've already seen her with a custom belt. I feel like Alexa Grasso is a shoe-in to get some custom shorts.
That's right.
Juliana Pena, Parlay Pals edition shorts whenever she fights next.
All right. Two last ones. Let's do two more.
All right, here we go.
Mike Saladino Sor. Bonjour, Ariel. Bonne chance à Paris et amuse-vous bien? I butchered that. When making it's probably vu. When making a PB&J, what's the order of operations? PB&J lathered on the same piece of bread, or one slice gets jelly and the other PB? Do we want ends of the loaf or not? Give us the details of your
ends of the
preferred
loaf.
PB&J.
What is this, the 30s? Throw those ends out.
Peanut butter and jelly on the same piece of bread is madness.
Yeah, you got to separate.
I know some people
right?
do that, and I respect it. I don't do it myself.
No, I
the
don't.
real question is,
once you start putting the knife, now it's all combined and stuff.
Well,
like what is
this?
gonna get
2003
combined
Smuckers.
Yeah, but
peanut
the
butter
knife
and,
is
and
not.
jelly
so
combined?
that's the real question.
No.
You guys, 2 knives?
2 knives
All
for
right,
sure.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm a big rinser. I go jelly first and then easy
okay,
rinse.
that's fair.
You know, peanut butter is going to be difficult
Such
to
a
rinse.
waste of water.
Also, you say that the peanut butter and the jelly is going to be combined, but also the spreading is crucial. You got to get everything covered. If you're spreading jelly on top of peanut butter or vice versa, it's just going to be a whole mess. Yeah, you got to do it separately.
Jelly that you guys have, like the viscosity of the jelly is really important, and the more that you invest in your jelly, you're going to have a better experience overall. I can tell you.
What are
guys
you
have
saying?
low-rent jelly.
It's what the higher quality of the jelly, the easier it is to spread across peanut butter.
Like it
when
actually
I could
just
spread
kind
it
of
across bread.
flows itself. You know, like you have the peaks and valleys of your peanut butter, and the jelly just finds them. And it's a nice.
This is one of your. You've had some terrible takes throughout the course of me knowing you. This is the worst. Peanut butter one bread, jelly the other. Smash them together. Are you guys slicers? I'm a diagonal slicer. Really, really throw it back.
I'll slice it. I'll break pieces of it and eat it like a bird.
I'm a slicer,
I like that. A little bird technology there. A little bird strategy.
Yeah,
I like
bird technology. I'm a slicer, but I don't care if it's diagonal or just like down the middle. I'm not like I don't have a strong lean on that, but I do want to slice.
Y'all get me warmed up for another PB&J. I had one after the show. We talked about this last, and I mean it was a thing of beauty. I'm getting revved and ready to go for another one. I feel like we never.
Ariel was here because like 2 days ago I found on Instagram like someone making like a bougie peanut butter and jelly on like a piece of French and I sent it to him and I was like, Ariel, you were the first and only person I thought of when I saw this. Like you've become my PB&J guy.
I feel like GC was more the PB&J kind of expert.
I don't think than GC would. I'm gonna send it to you guys. I think once you see it, you'll be like, yeah, that's totally like that's how AH would eat his peanut butter and jelly.
Oh,
well,
okay.
you know what's so funny? We never really talked about it on the show. Ariel talked about the bougie branded jelly that he talked about.
Yeah.
Home, whatever. It turned out that I had 2 jars sitting downstairs. And he talked about how much his wife loved cherry and raspberry, the 2 flavors I had, cherry and raspberry. And
look at that.
I had a raspberry one, and it was delightful.
Yeah, I'm not super bougie with the jelly. I'll as long as it's a good fruity flavor and not like nasty, like super preservative, like sugar. What's the thing? Cornstarch or whatever. Not corn syrup. Like I'm good. All right, last one. And thank you all for the questions. Hey fellas, this is from JM. Hey fellas, thanks for holding it down today. Quick question: is there an elaborate long-term plan to reveal mysterious Frank's identity? Or is it just something that will all live on forever, like the blue diamond in Titanic? Frank equal the heart of the ocean.
I wish there was.
Nah, man, no one's gonna know.
Do we need to?
No.
Do we need to start planning?
I mean, that's just silly.
What would be the circumstance where we reveal it? What would be like a big enough moment?
What
would it take?
What if Just hear me out on this.
Yes.
We get a phone call. Dana White wants to come to the studio.
Wow, we offer that
wants
as
to
like
have sit down. Wants the best engineer. Wants the best everything, but it's been just nagging at him. He's like, I got to see what he looks like, and I want the world to see. I'd do it.
So how do we get the best engineer though? How does he come into the
wait a minute.
equation?
Wait. Oh, your mic's not working anymore. Sorry, Rick.
Got him. Oh, he really muted his mic.
That's pretty good. Frank, bring my mic back up.
It's up, man.
It's up now. Yeah. Wow, that was actually nice, Frank. You got him to not talk, and then you got him to say, "Frank, bring my mic back up into the mic." That was excellent work.
He is the best engineer. We do.
That is what a good engineer would do. Maybe not the best, but that was definitely what a good engineer.
All right. I think that wraps us for on the nose. Thank you for all the questions. Sorry for anybody we didn't get to. There were a lot.
We very much appreciate it. That means a lot, which means it's time to talk some betting. But before we do that, we got to end July with a bang. And UFC 304 has not just one, but it's got 2 title fights on the line. So get your own crown, jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. The welterweight and interim heavyweight title round out the main card, but it's a stacked card of fights. And speaking of stacked, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers, you're going to bet $5, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go ahead and download that DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Go ahead, pull out that phone, tablet, computer, whatever. And you're going to use the code the MMA Hour. That's code the MMA Hour for new customers. You're going to get $150 in bonus bets, and that's when you just bet 5 simple smackaroonies. That's only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. You got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. If you're in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or just text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help's available to you. More problem gambling. You just got to call 888-789-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by the jurisdiction that you are in. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. It's not long, so you got to get those bets in. And deposit and eligibility restrictions may apply. See gaming resource at dkng.com/MMA. All right, got the bills paid. Pretty much go home now.
Actually, we just got a call from legal. They want you to do that again, but with more enthusiasm. That's the enthusiasm.
Frank, what would we say to legal in that scenario?
Okay.
No. There's a drop for that.
I feel like that was a big missed opportunity.
That's it. That's the one.
There it is. All right. So we already have Juliana Pena's pick. She actually gave us a very wide selection that we have to decide on here. And that is, she said, Molly McCann, Arnold Allen, Patty Pimblett, Curtis Blades, or Bilal. Whatever
just
one
all of these
you guys
guys,
want
money
to
line?
choose. Whichever one, yeah. I say we just go with the first one, which is Molly McCann.
I like that.
It was the first one that came to her mind. It's the one she's most confident in. Molly McCann. I will throw the rest of us here into the randomizer. We're trying to stay hot. Frank! We'll go first.
Nice.
Rick second, and then I will go third.
Who's on the card again?
Wow.
Good one, Frank.
Wow.
Look, he might be changing his name, but I'm not changing my loyalty. King Green's getting it done. Moneyline.
How long have you been practicing that one for? Let's go.
Since the beginning of the show.
How do you feel about the disrespect that DraftKings still has it as Bobby Green?
I mean, that is ridiculous. Also, ESPN is doing the same thing.
All right, Rick, that leads us to you.
I'm just looking at this now, I'll be honest.
Been a busy day.
You want me to go?
It's been a lot. No. We're gonna go Tom Aspinall. Let's make it show favorites. Let's just make it all show favorites. Tom Aspinall, money line.
You made this easy for me. I got two choices. It was either big TA or big AA. Arnold Allen, that is the pick.
Let's go.
Plus 328 is going to be the parlay here.
Easy. All friends of the show. I love it.
It's a friends of the show week, I feel like. Show week, I feel like. Which brings us into my bets. I'll run through these very quickly. I'll avoid any stale lines here, but we'll kick it off. Mick Parkin. Trains with Tom Aspinall. As you can see, as I mentioned in the show earlier, doesn't get a ton of finishes once he's gotten to the UFC level. 3 straight wins, all coming by way of decision. Sort of the opposite fighter as Tom Aspinall. But you know what? Something in my plums, something down in the gut, is telling me that he's going to put on for this Manchester crowd, and I think he gets it done. We've seen him get the submissions. I think he's going to go for the takedowns. We've seen Lucas Bresky gas before. Mick Parkin shocks the world and gets his first finish at the UFC level inside the distance. You got to zig when others are zagging. So Mick Parkin inside the distance. Next up, Nathaniel Wood by decision. Plus 200 is the only reason that I'm taking this, because of the line on this one. He is obviously fighting a tough opponent in Daniel Pineda, who has won every single one of his fights by finish. He has been finished several times before, knocked out, submitted, everything like that. Let me throw this out to you, though. Nathaniel Wood, no finishes since 2019. Up a weight class against, yes, he has been finished, but a tough Daniel Pineda. No KOs since 2018. No KOs at the UFC level. Pineda, yes, he's been subbed. Has not been subbed since 2010 at Bellator 19. A guy like Nathaniel Wood, who has won the majority of his UFC fights by decision, being plus 200 when he's like a minus 400. Just got to take the value in that. I think Pineda hangs tough, and Nathaniel Wood still gets it done. Gets it done by decision. Next up, Oban Elliott. This is the sort of a friend of the show bet, man. I'm not going to sit here and harp poetic about this, wax poetic about this. But Oban Elliott, like what the kid brings to the show, the Welsh gangster. I think he bounces back after a decent performance against Val Woodburn. Got rocked early. I think he brings it in front of the Manchester crowd. Next up, Arnier. Been on this one for a minute. Not coming off of it. If the line comes in even more, he's at like a minus 235 or something right now. If it comes even more, I might put more on him. But Arnold Allen, that is the bet. I don't need to say anything else. You knew where I was going. King Green, as I talked about earlier, I really feel like the volume can get this done for him. Paddy Pimblett, 41% striking defense. Bobby Green has landed the most significant strikes in lightweight history. Second most or fifth most significant strikes per minute. He can put up the volume. I think he's tough enough to not get finished. I think he has the defensive wrestling to avoid the takedowns. King Green gets it done and spoils. Yes.
Somebody in the chat, Olajuwon Dream, was pointing out that DraftKings hasn't changed it, because then they can void the ticket, be like, well, I'm sorry, you have a ticket for Bobby Green. We don't have a King Green here, who the judges have final. Yeah. That's
a great point. That's a great point by Olajuwon. Shout out. Co-main, Tommy Aspinall, baby. I'm going to take him by KOs round 1 or 2. I'm also on his money line, but that line has shifted, so we won't bring it up. Tom Aspinall, KO rounds 1 or 2 plus 105. I don't see him getting a submission. I know he has a couple at this level, but Curtis Blades is well equipped to handle him on the ground. And if it stays standing, I think he has the advantage on the feet, and I think he gets a knockout. All 10 of his knockout victories coming in the first round, but just to keep it a little bit safer, we'll add in that round 2. I know they discussed wanting longer fight times. A nice prop parlay for you here. Patterson Crosby, I think it's going to be a brawl fight. Doesn't go to a decision. Aspinall Blades under 3.5. Tom Aspinall average fight time at 238. Curtis Blades been knocked out 4 times. 2 guys that can get finishes. I just heavyweight. I just don't see it going long. And then Edwards and Muhammad over 1.5, 14 straight for both of these guys over the 1.5. I very much like this one. And then this is one that I laid out, I think, when these fights got announced. It's my motherfucking boys parlay. Arnold Allen, Tom Aspinall. And those are the picks. UFC 304. Shout out.
Love that. Thank you for those. Do we have anything left to do? Are we?
I think that's it, man. Nice.
Ariel set
nice
the precedent.
clean 3 hours.
You guys need to do push-ups like you did on Monday.
No.
All right.
Already did push-ups today, man. Already did them.
And with that, I guess that's it. See you next Wednesday. Do it again. What do you think?
Yeah. Definitely not see you next Tuesday, bro. See you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday. Let's do it again. But first, we'll have something to react to on Monday, and so
Oh, sure will.
we'll do that. But me and you back here next Wednesday. And with that, we can hit the music, Frank. I think that went well. I will admit, it's nice to see you in the studio. I feel like that was a good vibe that we had, but this was pretty good too. Once I got back into this chair,
The chemistry is much better in the studio. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
You feel more amped up. We're together. It makes it easier. I'm really just waiting for like the appeal of this to wear off on the people. It's coming around the corner. I feel like they're gonna be like, all right.
nah, you know what? There were a lot of comments that were just saying like how much they loved us together in the chemistry. So
yes,
we
they are
appreciate
very,
you.
very nice comments. They are very nice. We really do. We really do appreciate you guys a lot. Who knows?
Do we need Ariel back? Forget him.
I think my agent emailed me and he said something about people reaching out about making this a regular thing, but
Let's go.
we'll see. I mean, it feels like I finally got through. I kept saying, just out of my agent. We'll see though. We'll see. Frankie, you excited for 304 or what, man?
Cloud 9.
Yeah,
Great.
I can't wait. Watch party, Mashu Mansion, crushing a full English on Saturday morning. Fish and chips to follow for lunch.
Are you making your own or you found a place?
I found a place. I'm gonna have to drive, but I did find a place.
I didn't say it at the time, but I'm mushy peas with the fish and chips.
Oh,
I like
that's-
it.
Shout
Ooh,
out,
that's a
100%.
madman right there. That is.
How
a
do you guys feel
madman.
about shepherd's pie?
Love a
Love
shepherd's pie.
shepherd's pie.
Done.
Done. I mean, the biggest thing about making your own English breakfast is that I don't know how to do the black pudding. Got to get the black pudding in there. That's actually one of my favorite parts.
Hey, just go to a butcher for that.
All right, Frankie. Same time next Wednesday.
Word.
Peace. We're out of here.
There it is.